Hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today, tonight, wherever time of day it is where you might be. I'm a little flustered, not gonna lie. It's been a day. But now we have popcorn. It's fresh. It's hot off the stove, and we are going to be live reacting to the SAG Awards. Got to leave that little label out of the way so legal doesn't hate me. Please let me know in the chat if you can hear me, if there's any troubles with the audio, with the video, anything that might be going wrong for you. And if you are just joining us for the first time and you haven't been to any of these live reactions before, I will not be having the stream itself open in my window. I don't do that copyrighted nonsense. I try to avoid it because, cops are scary. They're scary people. And lawyers are even worse. But in place of the actual SAG Awards, we have this. We have a giant tower of blankets. And on this giant tower of blankets, a cat may come and join us. He's actually just right there. He's a little bit off screen, I think with a bit of enticing. With a bit of people talking about things in the chat, maybe we can get Rocco, the wonderful black phenomenal cat that I have, up here to join us. He usually goes for the most comfortable spot in the entire apartment, and right now, this is it, provided there is not a P right there at the bottom. Let me know if you get that reference. So, we're 2 minutes away. The SAG Awards will be starting. For those of you who are trying to stream the SAG Awards, if you're in Canada, they are on the global website. You'll need a sign-in, so you'll need some kind of login information. Essentially, you will have to have some kind of cable package in order to stream them live. If you're in the United States, I have no idea how you can stream them. I don't know what network they're on. And for people outside of that territory, once again, you're kind of on your own, but I trust you guys to be resourceful and to figure out how to watch these SAG Awards. So, while we're waiting for the SAG Awards to actually start, we should probably recap why we care. This is honestly the first time I've ever watched the SAG Awards live or really cared anything about them. But this year, as I've been covering and talking about the lead up to the Academy Awards, I've started to realize how important some of these different awards can be, especially the Guild Awards. I've talked about it a lot on this channel. Now that we're past the nomination process for the Oscars, it's less important, but now the SAG Awards really get us to a spot where we can figure out who the actors think should be the best actor. And we're going to get that in all 4 of the major categories, plus the ensemble one. And there's a lot of information we can get for that. And there's a lot of momentum that can be built from the SAG Awards going through to the Oscars. So tonight is a big night. It's one of many award shows that we're going to be talking about. The PGA Awards, the Producers Guild Awards, were actually last night. And I think during commercial breaks and things like that, we're going to be talking about the winners of the PGA Awards. I'm going to be going through them. And yeah, there's going to be all kinds of great things to talk about as we watch these awards together. So I'm pretty excited about it. As I said, I've never really seen the SAG Awards before, so I have no idea what to expect as far as a pomp and circumstance kind of way. Don't really know what we're going to be seeing. I don't even know who's hosting. I'm just most interested in the film awards. We're also going to be, obviously talking about the television winners, miniseries winners, all that kind of stuff. There's going to be a lot of things to talk about here. And it's going to be a good night. It's going to be a fun time. I hope, like me, you have popcorn. I'm sorry if in the audio all you can hear is me chewing, but, I was making soup all day. Soup should not take that long to cook, but it did, and it messed up my schedule quite a bit. I didn't even get to do laundry today, so now I'm having popcorn. I earned this. I deserve this popcorn. Let's see, we got Ozgay in the chat saying that the audio is a thumbs up. Good to hear, thank you. Please let me know if that changes. This mic is not very reliable. And we got Dory saying the SAG Awards are broadcasted on TBS in America. So, if you want to stream them, you can probably go to the TBS website and figure it out from there. And it appears that the show has actually started. Christina Applegate was just saying something into the camera. I have no idea what it was. Oh, hello, Cynthia Erivo. I probably need to turn the volume up on this a little bit.
My name is Cynthia Erivo, and I'm an actor.
We have a lot of actors, from the sounds of it, talking about what made them become actors in the first place. Oh, hello, Eugene Levy. Eugene Levy, dropping a little joke about Hamilton, I believe, calling it the Pittsburgh of the North. I wonder if this speech that Eugene Levy is doing was actually cleared, or if he just decided to talk a lot. And also, can we just give a little bit of a shout out to Eugene Levy's eyebrows? My God. I know that people have used this analogy before for other people, but those look like dead caterpillars. In fact, several dead caterpillars. Are those real? I believe that his hair is real. I don't believe that those eyebrows are real. Also, I believe the SAG Awards, like the Golden Globes, went plant-based for their meal. And I'm just taking a look at it right there, and I'm seeing some carrots. That looks pretty good. Looks like maybe a parsnip puree underneath that. I'm into it. I'm into it. Also, hello, everyone who's watching. I can see we got about 6 people on the stream. Just want to give a brief explainer. I'm just going to be reacting. Good God. I'm going to be eating popcorn and doing it very poorly and messily. But I will not be putting up the SAG Awards anywhere on the screen. You're going to have to find a stream for that by yourself. But if you want some conversation to go along with your stream, talking about how these awards affect the Oscar Awards, then please stick around and please get in the chat. Let us know that you're here.
I'm doing my How I Became an Actor speech.
You've taken 3 times as long as everybody else in your
All right, so this is absolutely a gag. Too bad.
Well, that's all right. I know Tom. He's a good guy. He'll take it well.
Good jokes. Good jokes. Tom Hanks always knows how to look like he is acting. He is a good actor.
I need the music.
I wonder now if everything is just going off the rails. How well produced could the SAG Awards actually be? How long have they been televised for? Who knows? It actually seems like the SAG Awards are just a giant version of the Golden Globes from a setup standpoint. It's a lot of tables. Wait, are Eugene Levy and his son hosting?
Welcome, everybody, to the 26th Annual Screen Actors Guild Awards.
The SAG Awards. And for this incredibly glamorous group of people tonight, SAG is such an unfortunate acronym. And just to clarify one thing right off the top, Daniel and I are not your hosts tonight. We're here to greet you and get things started. And there are 2 key things that differentiate us from actual hosts.
That's true. Number 1, we will not be reappearing throughout the show.
And 2, we aren't being paid.
That's also true. Although SAG actually offered me an internship credit and a free flu shot. So.
Oh, that's wonderful, son.
Very generous.
Good. Now tonight,
That little gag about the internship credit. As someone who used to be part of the Directors Guild of Canada, things like that really hit home for me.
That's true. So look out for those performances tonight because some of them might be recognized at next year's SAG Awards. And speaking of compelling performances, Mr. Robert De Niro is receiving the Life Achievement Award this evening.
That's interesting. They're giving Robert De Niro a Lifetime Achievement Award, which would have looked kind of suspicious if he had also been nominated for Best Actor for The Irishman, which he was not. So I wonder, maybe he didn't get voted in because they knew they were giving him a Lifetime Achievement Award. Or maybe they decided to go with him after he didn't get nominated. I don't know. The other interesting thing about that is that Robert De Niro currently has a misconduct allegations going against him, and those were definitely in the press before that announcement would have been made. So the Screen Actors Guild is essentially saying, like, that's either such a small scandal that we don't care, or it doesn't matter because Robert De Niro is Robert De Niro. So I think we're starting with the actual awards now. Male actor in a comedy series. Naturally, they cut to Scarlett Johansson because she could have played that part.
And how awkward would this be for you if I was nominated and you had to announce someone else as the winner?
That would be very awkward.
Yeah.
Fortunately for me, you're not nominated.
Good. Yes. Dodged a bullet on that one, didn't I? Yeah.
I wonder how much padding we're going to get in this award show, because it seems like they've been doing an awful lot of talking so far. We're 7 minutes in. No awards have been presented yet, and it's just been an opening gag. And I know based on the schedule that I looked at, these things are supposed to be over by 10:15, which I am so thankful for. 3.5 hours of the Golden Globes, that was tough. 2 hours and 15 minutes of this, I feel like I can handle it. It's about the average length of a Hollywood film these days.
Here are the nominees for Outstanding Male Actor.
People who are here, let me know how you're doing. How was your day today? What did you get up to? How did you decide to spend your Sunday? Oh my God, there's awards going on. All right, Alan Arkin for the Kaminsky Method. Unless that's an award for Paul Reiser, or a nomination for Paul Reiser. Oh no, it's for Alan Arkin. Michael Douglas for the Kaminsky Method. This is actually kind of nice for the SAG Awards. It seems like they actually play proper clips. They actually show acting. I like that. I always appreciate that. Bill Hader in Barry getting nominated. I wouldn't mind seeing him win. I know, Dory, I think you've talked about Bill Hader in Barry before and saying that he's really good. Ooh, Andrew Scott in Fleabag. I would also like to see that get a win. He's a wonderful little actor. One of the brighter spots of 1917 for me as well was just like the little, like if we're talking about like just little moments of joy as opposed to the joy of watching the whole film. The Adam Scott cameo is nice. Oh no, I missed this actor's name. The person who played Monk on the TV series Monk is also nominated for male in comedy series. Oh, Bill Hader's not even there. And the award goes to Toni Shalhoub, the person whose name I forgot and missed on screen. My humble pie tastes a lot like popcorn. So as he walks up to the stage, let's look at the chat. Dory's saying that they saw Steven Spielberg from that. Well, popcorn got stuck. Dory's saying they saw a Steven Spielberg film called 1941. It was a dud. I am sad to report I have not seen that film. I can't say whether or not it's a dud or not, but Dory, you usually got pretty good taste. I'm only going to take your word on that. And a lot of Steven Spielberg films are not that good. It's a sad fact that we have to kind of admit to ourselves, especially now that we're getting into our older years and we're able to look back at our childhood favorite films with fresh eyes, well, not fresh eyes, with more seasoned eyes. And yeah, Spielberg was really good at making us all feel like we were watching like really awesome movies when we were 13, but some of them just don't really hold up over time. Except Minority Report, which always gets better. Hello, everyone in the chat. We're just doing a live reaction to the SAG Awards. We just had our first award go out. We are on this channel chiefly concerned with the film awards because I'm really interested in the lead up to the 2020 Oscars, and I think that these awards will tell us a lot about that. Now we have a couple of people who I don't recognize coming out and talking a bit. What category is this? Tell me what category you're presenting. Female actor in a comedy series, also known as the Phoebe Waller-Bridge Award. Christina Applegate is nominated for the Phoebe Waller-Bridge Award. Who else is going to get the Phoebe has a chance? Ooh, Alex Borstein from The Marvelous Miss Mabel. Also nominated for the Phoebe Waller-Bridge Award. For everyone just joining us, we are talking about the Best Female Lead in a Comedy Series. We also have another nomination for the Marvelous Miss Maisel. I missed the name. I've heard very good things about this, but I'm becoming adverse to Amazon. Not that I do just like the company and their practices. Ooh, Catherine O'Hara for Schitt's Creek. They're doing a retrospective on Catherine O'Hara at TIFF right now. I haven't seen anything from it, but they're bringing back a lot of really cool stuff from the 80s and 90s. I think Mighty Wind and a lot of those kind of films are going to be coming back. A friend of mine saw Waiting for Guffman the other day. Oh, also nominated, Phoebe Waller-Bridge for the Phoebe Waller-Bridge Award. Everyone watching, let me know what your favorite Catherine O'Hara film is. Let me know in the chat. Get in there. Or even just let me know that you're watching. It's always nice to hear from people. And the award goes to Phoebe Waller-Bridge won the Phoebe Waller-Bridge Award. I'm stunned. I'm stunned by that. What are the odds that would happen? I'm seeing these viewership numbers go up and down a bit. If you're just tuning in, your best chance at streaming the Screen Actors Guild Awards are on Global TV in Canada or TBS in the United States. Outside of those two territories, I have no idea. What does everyone think about Fleabag? Has everyone been watching Fleabag? I did watch both seasons recently. It's very good, but it was presented to me that it would be like one of the greatest viewing experiences of my life, especially season 2, and it didn't quite meet those heights, unfortunately. In the chat, I was asking, wait, who won? I'm confused. It was Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Phoebe Waller-Bridge won the Phoebe Waller-Bridge Award. I'm just calling it that because she was a shoo-in my mind. I don't think anyone else could have beaten her for that award. Nasuke saying, Best in Show is my favorite Catherine O'Hara film. Good choice. Good choice. That is an excellent film.
The Fleabag team go home tomorrow back to the UK, except for Brett, who you get to keep. Lucky days.
Phoebe's just giving her acceptance speech right now.
Thank you for being so supportive of our show.
Everyone at the Fleabag table looks pretty excited. We got someone asking, can you show the TV? Unfortunately not. I'm not going to be showing the TV as I don't want to have any copyrighted content on this channel. I don't want to receive content strikes or anything like that. It's just not what I want to do. You're saying you're not able to see it in your country. I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. Yeah, I'm very cognizant and cautious about content strikes on this platform and what they can do to a growing channel and how it can nerf any kind of progress that you've made. So unfortunately, I can't help you out there. However, and I'm not saying that this is what you should do, there are services that can mask your IP for doing certain things on the internet, like say you want to not reveal your IP address to people, you want to browse securely, things like this, called VPNs. If you were to go look up something like that, you might be able to help yourself browse the internet safer and perhaps do other things that I'm not advocating for. Oh, look, it's Bruce Dern. Hello, Bruce Dern. And Elle Fanning? And the girl... Oh, and the girl who offered a blowjob to Brad Pitt. I really should learn people's names so I don't have to rely on things like that. I don't know why we have to bring up Quentin Tarantino with the SAG Awards. Although he's probably part of the Screen Actors Guild, now that I think of it. He's been in enough films.
As they face what just might be the end of their trail in a world and an industry that are rapidly changing. For everyone who loves the magic of the movies,
Wait.
This is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Are they doing movie recap videos at the SAG Awards? It's the SAG Awards. Is this for Best Ensemble or something? Ugh. God, I hate this stuff. You want me to increase the volume on what? The awards show or my my sultry voice. These lovely deep baritones.
Please welcome Jason Bateman.
Oh, it is Dakota Fanning Dory. You're right. I'm sorry. I sometimes get the Fanning sisters confused. Hey, it's Jason Bateman. For anyone who's not watching The Outsider, you should check it out. It's pretty decent. I'm going to be watching episode 3 as soon as this live stream is over with tonight.
Here are the nominees for Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Comedy Series.
All right, Ensemble, comedy series. Let's do it. Barry, number 1.
We can use this class as therapy. Thank you. Next, when you create a character, lend him
You don't want more popcorn volume? Come on now. This is great popcorn. There is a good crunch to this popcorn. All right, I'll turn the TV up a bit. I have neighbors I need to consider.
The ensemble.
Let me know if that helps you out a little bit.
Oh God. It's a portrait.
I'll go.
Of you girls. Oh God.
So, Fleabag.
Together or I don't need a couple.
I'm also worried about whether you guys are going to be able to make me out over a slightly louder TV. Let me know if you have any trouble discerning me from what's going on in the background, because obviously I'm the most important person here.
The ensemble of the Kaminsky method.
We got the Kaminsky method also nominated.
Trust.
My mother and I had nothing but trust. You don't understand because you didn't have to go through this.
Get over it.
You only had 2 women in your life, and you managed to chase them both away.
Why do I bother talking to you?
Who else you got?
Here.
Oh, we got Regina saying that she's going to be watching all night. Thank you so much. I haven't seen you in the chat before. Thank you for joining us. Oh, and you're a SAG member as well. So you voted, Regina. You voted. That's awesome.
Prostitution instead of being bad. I'm not a prostitute. I'm a comic. Is there a difference? Yes. Prostitutes get paid more.
Hilarious. You should go.
The ensemble of Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek. Shout out for Canadian content. Also getting nominated.
Johnny, no coaching. Always be ready. Johnny, why don't you just put on a little apron and serve them the win on a silver platter? I'm just helping out my son, Roland. The kid has no idea what he's doing. I can hear you.
Regina, you need to let us know who you voted for all these.
The actor goes to the marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel getting Best Ensemble, which is interesting. I would have thought Fleabag would have won that, because they have a very good ensemble. But I don't know anything about TV. Regina, let us know. Is that who you voted for? Oh, Fleabag Comedy got your vote. I agree. Although it's the only show of the 5 that I've watched, so I am in no position to judge. Now, when we get to the film ones, I'm going to have a lot of opinions on that. Actually, Regina, can you let us know quickly who you voted for in the film acting awards? Because those are the ones that I'm personally most interested in. Excuse me. I'm going to be burping occasionally. I'm sorry.
Really weird. This makes no sense. I don't know what to say. I'm going to take this home and make sweet love to it through my Spanx hole. Anyone else got anything to say?
I was going to say that the Marvelous Miss Maisel is overhyped.
Fleabag is
No comment. I've never seen it.
Brilliant. You are brilliant. Very surprised. I didn't vote for Rachel. I didn't vote for Toni.
I forgot to vote.
This makes no sense. Wow. I can't use somebody else.
We just want to say, obviously, this is a huge ensemble. We are so proud to be a part of. This ensemble extends far beyond those that you see on this stage. We are missing, as Toni said, one really, really important member of our ensemble tonight, Brian Tarantina. We had such an amazing time here with him last year, so thank you so much for this. This is dedicated to him. Thank you to our casting directors, Jeannie, Meredith, Cindy, for bringing us all together. Thank you guys. This is a mistake, but thank you.
Decent acceptance speech. All right, going to check back in with Regina and her picks. So she voted for Joaquin Phoenix, Lupita Nyong'o, Brad Pitt, Jennifer Lopez, and Parasite for movie ensemble. Personally, I think you've got it right on. Well, I mean, I hope you got it right on Lupita. I would love to see that. Brad Pitt, definitely a lock in my mind. Joaquin Phoenix, I'm not entirely sure because I wonder if Adam Driver might pick it up here, and then that will be his momentum going into the actual Oscars. And then J-Lo, that would actually be really nice. Like if she wins tonight, it would be a nice little fuck you to the Academy for not nominating her. And then, I'm sorry,
Dinner's ready.
Eggs for dinner?
Abhishek? Abhishek, is that how it's pronounced? Let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. Abhishek saying that Farewell was snubbed. Yeah, it's been snubbed in basically all of the awards. All right, guys, I'm going to turn this down during the commercials. I'll turn it back up when it comes back on. Hello to everyone who's just tuning in. We're doing a live reaction of the SAG Awards. Thank you very much for joining us. And Regina's saying she was a casting director, but I act now. That's awesome. Well, thank you again for joining us and for sharing your opinions. I would really love to see Parasite win Best Ensemble. And maybe you can speak to this, Regina, but I found it strange that Parasite got nominated for Best Ensemble without getting any individual awards. And is that probably because the actors in the Parasite are Korean and thus not members of the Screen Actors Guild? Is that probably what that is? Abhishek saying that I'm pronouncing their name correctly. Wonderful. Thank you so much for clarifying that for me. Regina's saying, if you ever saw Girls with Adam Driver, he did way more acting. I'm not entirely sure what you mean by more acting. Like, I guess he did do, 5 or 6 seasons, and so he was acting more. Or are you saying from, like, a perspective of, like, the amount of acting that a person does in a particular role? In Marriage Story, he was just kind of Adam Driver, and then in Girls, he was actually acting. Oh, Regina just saying that they had to be SAG. And I just asked about Parasite getting an ensemble award or an ensemble nomination, but not getting any individual awards. That being why the Korean actors are not actually in SAG. And Regina just saying that Adam had more range and character in Girls. Makes sense. Also, Chris F coming in. Good to see you, man. Had you in the chat in the last one that we did of these for the Golden Globes, saying Regina was a polka dancer in Groundhog Day. That would be cool if that were true. I can't remember if there is a polka dancer in Groundhog Day, but that'd be dope. And Abhishek saying, hope 1917 doesn't win Best Director. For the Academy Awards, I assume you mean, because tonight is the SAG Awards, and to my knowledge, they don't award awards to directors here tonight. There might have been something in the PGAs, actually, which I'll be getting into later in the evening, talking about who won at the PGAs and what the Oscar implications are for that. But yeah, that's a later in the evening thing. We've got time. It's only 8:30. These awards are going to go on for another hour and a half. Right now, I'm just focusing on this popcorn, focusing on you guys. And it looks like we got a few more people watching. No need to be lurkers. Please get in the chat. Let me know what you think about what's transpired so far. We've only had the awards given out for the comedy series so far. I have not much to say on it, as I am not the biggest television fan. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Abhishek just clarifying that yes, talking about the Oscar for 1917 not winning Best Director. Let me know why you don't want Sam Mendes to win that award, because he seems like, especially after the Golden Globes, the odds-on favorite to win. And I'm pretty sure he's going to win the BAFTA for it, which will be really good for his momentum going into the Academy Awards. Oh, and Regina saying that Chris F is correct. She was a polka dancer in Groundhog Day. That is super dope. I'm thrilled to have you here with us. That's actually really awesome. Oh, wait, what? I don't know what's going on in the chat anymore. Oh, is correct. Okay. Sorry. I thought I misread something. Good God. Chris Chris just saying that he is someone with IMDb, and he thought it was a fun credit. And Regina saying Billy Cudrup, Jennifer Aniston for Morning Show. I guess we're going to be getting to that next. Ooh, female actor in supporting role.
Roles couldn't be more distinct.
Hi, Taron
The
Egerton.
actors who play them share one thing in common: the ability to portray imperfect people to perfection. Here are the nominees.
Abhishek saying Parasite should win, and it will boost more Asian movies getting noticed. That would be great if that happened. Ooh, Laura Dern. This is a category we care about. So we're doing Best Supporting Actress in a film. So we got Laura Dern for Marriage Story, who's excellent and will win this. But I know that Regina said she wanted J-Lo to win this, so I wonder if J-Lo's actually there.
Scarlett Johansson, Jojo Rabbit.
Next nomination is Scarlett Johansson for Jojo Rabbit. Will not win.
It's a pain
My also, that's
in your tummy, like it's full of butterflies. Yuck. Yuck.
Nicole Kidman, Bombshell.
Nicole Kidman for Bombshell. Will not win. Going on in the chat here. Regina saying this is so fun. Thank you. I agree. I'm having a good time. Also hoping for J-Lo. Abhishek saying that Marriage Story is winning this year for supporting actress. I agree. Oh, and now we got J-Lo up on the screen being nominated. I think that's about all of them.
This game is rigged, and it does not reward people who play by the rules. Yeah, stand in the corner or get in the ring.
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie, also nominated for this award. Interesting how she's Best Supporting for the SAG Awards, but Best Leading for the Academy Awards.
That's all of our
And the actor goes to.
And the award goes to Laura Dern, the Queen. All right. That's one that I have had as my 100% lock for the Academy Awards for a little while now. Oh, it's nice. Laura just went over to her father, Bruce Dern, and gave him a little hug. That's pretty cool. I wonder how many times she's been able to do that, winning an award with her dad in the audience.
Now I'm emotional because I got to hug my dad. Thank you, Screen Actors Guild. Thank you, actors. What an incredible room to be in celebration of all these extraordinary performances of my fellow nominees and all of you, and acknowledged by our peers. I thank Netflix, the amazing Ted Scott, everyone, that team, my champions, Peter, Jason, Charlie, Annette, all that guide me. I want to thank our Marriage Story family, our leader, our hero, Noah Baumbach.
I'm being quiet right now because she's speaking.
To Adam and Scarlett and the two partners in law, I would love to share this with the extraordinary Alan Alda and Ray Liotta.
I feel like Dern is really just practicing her Oscar acceptance speech right now.
To casting directors, Francine and Doug, to all casting directors who somehow have found us, discovered us. Namely Lynn Stallmaster for telling me to study and try this. And to all you actors, I literally would not be here if it weren't for actors. So thank you, Bruce Dern and Zion Ladd. And thank you for raising me in the community of your friends, on your movies, doing your plays, and getting to know the wealth of these extraordinary people. And for my grandma Mary raising me.
I think they allow for longer acceptance speeches at the SAG Awards. Maybe that's another reason why these awards are more.
People I watched
I don't know.
Forever, Lucille Ball, Vivian Vance, Mary Tyler Moore, and all these amazing artists, Red Fox, Freddie Prinze, everyone we got to grow up with that made us want to do this. Thank you all.
She's really going for it.
Also, Big Little Lies family, we get to love each other and work together. We are the most blessed people in the world. Thank you so much. So much love. I love you, Dad.
All right, Laura really went for it for that one. I need to bring the screen closer to me so I can read the chat a bit easier. You guys are going crazy, and I love it. I'm sorry, Rockwell. Perhaps we'll now get some movement from the cat. For those of you who don't know, the reason why I have this giant thing of blankets here is so hopefully my cat will eventually get on it and grace you all with his presence. Let's see. They're clapping for a lot of people. I kind of missed that because I was moving something. But let's take a quick look at the chat. Abhishek saying that Marriage Story is winning this year for supporting actress. You are correct. Regina saying she voted for J-Lo. Love Hustlers, but also because of the no Oscar nom. Respect. I totally get that. Oh, it's the cast of Parasite. And they're saying something that's being subtitled, which means that most of America won't bother watching it. I'm just going to continue on, looking at the chat. I'm just saying it's fun first time someone to care to read the chat and respond. I mean, that's the point of this, right? Like, it's a live stream. I'm not here to just be like talking about whatever I'm seeing. Like, I prefer actually talking with you guys because otherwise I'm just watching stuff. That's not fun. That's not why I do this. Regina just saying that Dern was excellent in that role. Totally agree. I think it was a standout performance, even for that film, which had so many good performances in it. Abhishek saying a lot of categories have predicted winners. Oh, for sure. A ton of categories have predicted winners. Joaquin Phoenix is the one that we all expect for Best Actor, although I wonder if Adam Driver will win there, and there's a bunch of other ones. Regina saying Parasite cast got Ensemble probably because no one of them stood out, all excellent, but also no one really famous in cast. True, although I think a couple of the actors in Korea are extraordinarily well known. But outside of South Korea, you're right, they wouldn't be. Let's see what we got here. Chris F saying Bruce Dern has a decent chance of also winning tonight. Ensemble for Once Upon a Time in America. That's interesting. That would be an interesting tidbit, a fact to keep for the trivia nights. And Regina saying, every year I get invited to the awards, costs $1,000 per attendee if not famous. God damn, that's a lot of money to spend on a dinner. Although I guess in some cases, oh wait, we're doing another award and this is a film one. Jamie Foxx is being up here, so I imagine this is Best Supporting Actor.
Tom Hanks. A beautiful day.
Male actor in a supporting role. So we got Jamie Foxx, and now we're talking about Tom Hanks. I'm going to go get my popcorn again. Everyone let me know who you think is going to win this award. We got Jamie Foxx. We got Tom Hanks. Got a very comfortable set of blankets, not nominated for the award.
Al Pacino, The Irishman.
We got Al Pacino, The Irishman.
You charge a guy, always charge a guy with a gun. With a knife, you run.
They're using a clip of The Irishman for Al Pacino where he stopped the guy from shooting him in the courtroom. There were such better scenes for that, but they all have a ton of profanity, and I wish they would just use that.
Pesci, The Irishman.
We have Joe Pesci for The Irishman, which I would really, I've said this before on the channel quite a bit, that I really want Joe Pesci to win the award, but I know that he won't because Brad Pitt will, as Regina and Abhishek said, it's going to Brad Pitt. Oh, there he is. Nominated. I actually forgot that they actually kind of made him look older and more disheveled in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it's pretty effective. He looks kind of like he's been through the ringer. And then they go to Brad Pitt now, and he just looks like he hasn't aged at all in the last 20 years. And the award goes to Brad Pitt. Like we all suspected, except for Dory, who voted for Jamie Foxx. I'm sorry, Dory. Didn't go your way this time. And we had Chris saying that Jojo Rabbit is a fine ensemble. 3 superb young performances, including Critics' Choice winners. Oscar-nominated supporting, director acting in it, Sam freaking Rockwell. It's true. It's a strong ensemble. I'm not going to deny that.
I got to add this to my Tinder profile.
Brad Pitt, with that humor, with that wit, saying he's going to add that statue to his Tinder profile.
My brothers, my sisters, this means so much, more than I can possibly fathom.
Regina saying that she worked with Pesci on With Honors. and that she was a homeless bum. How was that like? What was that like actually working with Joe Pesci? I imagine he's kind of a demure, like down-to-earth kind of guy, and then he just has this reputation of playing like these loudmouth, mile-a-minute type speakers in a lot of his roles.
Seriously, Quentin has separated more women from their shoes than the TSA. Now we all know what we do.
Abhishek, I have watched The Two Popes. It's good. It's good. I think it's probably getting more accolades than it deserves, especially considering some very strong films that were released this year. Basically, in every award show, I would sub The Two Popes for Waves in a heartbeat. Waves is excellent, and the fact that it got nothing at the Oscars is criminal in my mind. But yeah, The Two Popes is fine. It's decent enough. It's cool if you like actually seeing like two actors just play against each other and how they are able to interact with each other, and but also use that adversarial nature to carry a film. It's a good study in that.
It's a big stretch.
But I think Waves deserved more over it. But that's just me. I'm just a typical Waves stan. Regina's saying that Joe Pesci is very quiet. Makes sense. Makes sense.
It's been amazing to me. I've met so many amazing people along the way.
Abhishek saying that both actors were superb and that they saw it last night. The Two Popes he's talking about. Also, I'm sorry if I like mess up your pronouns. For some of these, I'm just looking at very small thumbnails, and I obviously can't tell. So I'm probably just going to use they in a lot of cases. If I slip on something, I apologize. Chris F saying a lot of people practicing their Oscar speeches. Yeah, I agree. It's almost like these are the long versions, and they're going to be cutting them down later because they probably have someone like timing them. Like, oh man, I was talking for 2 minutes. I know at the Oscars I'm only going to get 1 minute. So what do I leave out?
Thank you for this.
Chris also saying the 4 acting categories feel pretty locked down. I still feel like Adam Driver has a shot. Because I think when we get to the wider voting audience of the Oscars, the critical reception of Joker in America might hurt his chances. But we'll have to wait and see. Okay. We are back at commercial, so I'm going to turn that volume down. And Dory saying, Waves is great. I recommend it. Thank you, Dory. Everyone listen to Dory, and then maybe listen to myself as well. Waves is a fantastic film. And I think it's too bad because I feel like it's a film that doesn't do well in the current state of like online film criticism or online film reviewing, because it focuses less on overall character arcs and looks more at just specific moments in a family as they affect one person and then another. And so all of these people who are on YouTube and who are talking about stuff, they love talking about, satisfying character arcs and things like this. And in the case of Waves, it's not trying to do that. Like, it's objectively not interested in having that satisfying point A to point B character arc that goes throughout the entire film. And it looks more at just a general theme and how it works from one person and how that gets transferred to another person, particularly through siblings. And it's great. Everything in it is executed extraordinarily well. The music is super good. The cinematography is great. I hate that it's not getting more love. And yeah, please go see it if you haven't. And also, if you have seen it, let me know. Let me know what you thought of it. Because I always like knowing that my crazy hot takes are not so off base. Abhishek saying Oscar will go to the talk of the town? Not quite sure what you mean. But then saying Adam won with. Sorry, Abhishek, I'm not quite sure what you're saying with your comments. Although if you're saying that Adam Driver has a chance of winning, thank you. You're backing up my my theory. Regina's saying that Joaquin lost like 50 pounds. He really became like a different person. And I like I'm good with Joaquin Phoenix losing weight, transforming himself. I'm also good with a lot of other actors doing things very similar to that. Christian Bale is an obvious example. I just feel that when you remove something like that, the method aspect of what he did, and please, obviously, I would defer to your expertise on this because I am not an actor, and actually judging acting is something that I find very difficult to do because I have no practical experience in it. I come from a background where I watch movies, I watch a lot of movies, and then I have award shows and I have the opinions of others basically forming for me what good acting is, and then I try to identify those points in performances that I see. And I have personal biases and things like this and whatever. But to me, the physical transformation aspect doesn't really do anything for me unless there is an incredible performance there as well. So like if we were to put Joaquin Phoenix's Joker right here and oh God, his name just flew out of my head. If this is your first live stream with me, you'll notice that occasionally I forget very obvious things that should be in my memory. The person who played Joker in The Dark Knight. Why the hell has that flown away from me? Someone in the chat, tell me his name. Tell me his name. But yeah, if you were to compare those two roles, I feel like... No, I really need to know his name in order to... Heath Ledger. Jesus Christ. Thank you, Regina. Oh my God. If you were to compare Joaquin Phoenix's Joker and Heath Ledger's Joker, I'm much more convinced by Heath Ledger's on just like an actor acting versus acting kind of way. And even if those performances were equal, I don't think I would just give it to Joaquin because he transformed his body. But that's kind of where I'm at with that. And Abhishek saying Joker was a little hyped, but he was good in his role, and I'm sure that he will win tonight in the Oscars too. Okay, I'm waiting. I'm reserving judgment for the Oscars after tonight as far as the acting categories go. I think Laura Dern is a shoo-in 100%. I'm wondering if maybe Saoirse Ronan wins tonight for Best Actress, if she can ride that into the Oscars. I don't know if it's going to happen. I really hope Lupita wins tonight, but we'll see if that happens. Oh, look, the awards are back. Female actor in a TV series. Hey, it's Pedro Pascal and Sophie Turner. Hello.
We aspire to transform ourselves into our characters, and in doing so, to transport the viewer to...
And Regina, to answer your question, did I enjoy Joker? Not really. I would have been fine with it getting nominated for Best Actor at the Oscars, Best Score, but I really don't think it deserved anything beyond that. The fact that it got 11 nominations for the Oscars is kind of crazy. But yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it personally.
But you know what? I like you special.
Patricia Arquette is nominated for this particular award, the female actor in a TV movie or limited series. And then we got Toni Collette. A lot of these seem like they're mirroring the Golden Globe nominations. At least as far as I can remember for the TV, for the series and the limited movie and limited series awards.
Joey King, The Act.
I'm pretty sure she made it up. And I've been going along with it. And we fooled
Yeah, who is this?
people.
There's a younger actress on screen right now, and I missed her name.
Ever tell them.
Oh, she looks so familiar.
Emily Watson, Chernobyl.
Emily Watson for Chernobyl is nominated as well.
Every word they said, I wrote down.
I'm going to get back to the chat after they announce the winner. I've been missing names because I've been paying attention to what you guys are saying. I gotta do a better job of balancing where I'm looking. And Michelle Williams for Fosse Verdon is the last nominee in this category.
You can't stand the thought of it, can you? You just can't stand the fact that I'm the star, not you.
I don't want Michelle Williams to win, just based on what I saw on screen.
And the actor goes to Michelle Williams.
Michelle Williams. Boom. I'm into that.
Michelle Williams, a second-time nominee.
All right, getting back to the chat. We had Dory saying that they want Renee Zellweger. Wait, hold on. I want Renee Zellweger for Best Actress. I know, Dora, you've been very hot on that since we started doing these live streams.
The occasional
Yeah, it's probably going to go her way, but I love the hell out of Little Women. I would love it if Saoirse Ronan could do that, especially if she's going to go up on stage and say what a bullshit thing it is that Greta Gerwig didn't get nominated for Best Director.
And I know,
but Abhishek agrees with you. Renee will win for sure for Best Actress. Regina's saying that she didn't vote for this one, which is something I wasn't aware that you could actually do with the SAG Awards. I assumed it was just you're kind of given a sheet and then you just vote for anything. Or are you saying that you abstained from voting from it because you just hadn't seen any of the nominees or any of the shows?
And sometimes you get so damn lucky.
And Chris saying that his reasoning, Joker got 11 noms and Phoenix is the whole movie, like 100%. There's no Oscar voter who loves Joker, but is so-so on Phoenix. It's interesting. That's a good point. Regina saying, ha.
Always telling me the truth and in exquisite detail.
And Chris saying, I'm going to check out Fosse Verdun. Yeah, I feel the same way. Michelle Williams is a great actress, and I would love to see her in anything. So, yeah, I feel you. I feel the same way. But Chris, going back to your point on Joker and it being like 100% Joaquin's performance that carries the whole thing, absolutely true. But in a vacuum, when I compare it to Adam Driver's performance in Marriage Story, although Adam Driver is co-starring, like top billed, co-starring with Scarlett Johansson, I feel like he is in a film that in Marriage Story, his performance is the best performance of a very good ensemble cast. And I think for me, maybe that's what is killing him a little bit in this whole race, because he can't differentiate himself enough or say that he was that much better, especially considering that Joaquin Phoenix can do that for Joker. But like, just point for point, like punch for punch, pound for pound, however you want to say it, I think that Adam Driver's performance was better.
Wow. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the SAG-AFTRA Awards. I am really humbled to be a part of this community that does so
Don't know who
much
this is.
so many remarkable things for
Regina's saying online voting. I didn't see the show, so I skipped the vote. That's blank. Cool. All right. I didn't know you could do that. That's awesome. Thank you.
Stand Up to Cancer. A division.
Chris mentioning that he's going to be checking out Fosse Verdun for Sam freaking Rockwell. I wasn't aware that he was in that, but that's awesome too.
Catastrophic health fund. I also want to thank our sister unions. Let us not forget them.
Regina's saying that I love Adam Driver for years now. I simply thought Joaquin was better.
The WGA.
Cool. Yeah, that's totally awesome. We'll have to agree to disagree on that. But yeah, I definitely acknowledge that they're the two frontrunners. Without a doubt. Like, no one was better of the people who were nominated than Adam Driver and Joaquin Phoenix. So I'm not saying that it was a bad performance by Joaquin. I just personally prefer Drivers.
As we lift our eyes to the larger world around us, we must recognize as a community and a country how important
Regina's saying that the person on screen right now is President Gabriel Kataris.
But in our lives.
Good to know. It did feel like it was going to be a president's speech as soon as she walked out. So
we can become. We are SAG-AFTRA. We are actors, we are broadcasters, and sound recording artists.
It's actually interesting. There hasn't been much of a political bent to anything yet. Like, there have been no real mentions of like the Australian wildfires or anything like that.
It's true.
I imagine that's going to change if Joaquin Phoenix wins.
Artist power. And the magic and power of what we do together can and will shape a better future. I am Gabrielle Carteris, and I am an actor. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabrielle, for that. Chris saying that Rockwell plays Bob Fosse, assume he's also SAG nominated here. Cool.
Thankfully.
Dory saying that Gabrielle Kataris is from the TV show 90210. Had never watched it, but good to know. Good to know. Thank you. Gwendolyn Christie is up right now.
Quiet acts of courage. The actors who play today's heroes are often everyday heroes themselves. Summoning the courage and moral purpose.
One thing I will say about the SAG Actor Awards is that, or SAG After Awards, I'm never really sure if they're going to be announcing an award or doing something else, like just showing a clip or something like that. It all seems to blur together.
Play the role of hero for others in our work and in our lives as actors, recording artists and broadcasters, activists, parents, partners, and
While
friends.
Gwendolyn talks, if you're new to the channel and you want to find out more about it, I guess now would be a good time to talk about it. Oh, I think they're just doing a montage here now of superhero stuff. Interesting. But yeah, so on Cinemateq, we mostly have news wrap-ups, which go on Sundays as live streams, which would be today. But because we're doing the SAG Actor Awards, I'm live streaming and doing a live reaction of those. When we get out of award season, I will be doing more live streams talking about film news that matters to me. It mostly focuses on industry type stuff. Less concerned with, like, you know, spoilers leaking for the latest Star Wars film or something like that. But when Pinewood Studios gets bought out by Disney, that's something that I'm personally concerned with because it affects the movie industry as a whole. So there's that. Also started doing reviews on the channel, although I feel like those are going to start taking more of a discussion bent. Because of my status currently on YouTube, I don't have a lot of followers. I don't have a big audience. I have you guys, which is amazing, and thank you so much for hanging out. But you know, when a publicist looks at me with 84 subscribers, they don't want to put me in a press screening because I have no reach. I have no built-in audience yet. Working on it though. So I feel like if I'm seeing films late, there's no real point in reviewing them. I might as well be having or starting discussions about them. Things that go beyond the reviews and people just saying, hey, I really like this movie, or I really think the cinematography was great. I want to start having those deeper conversations with people, especially in the comments for all the videos that go out. And so, yeah, keep an eye on for more reviews that are more discussion-based than they are actually review-based. Because I think really one of the true measures of the quality of the film is what you can talk about. You know, we've all been there where we've gone to see a movie where it's just okay and it leaves us completely unenthused and we don't even really care about it, and a week later we have trouble remembering that we even saw it. I feel like we need to focus more on the films that leave us with something and that we want to continue discussing, and that's something that I want to focus on more with the channel as we move forward. But yeah, please like and subscribe, do all that stuff with the channel. I would really appreciate it, and I love having you guys and talking with you guys. So now we have Taika Waititi, Scarlett Johansson, and the very young actor from Jojo Rabbit, probably introducing a montage for Jojo Rabbit.
Yes, it did. Well, it's a tragedy, a comedy. It's a coming. What are you laughing? It's a coming of age story, and it's a warning.
Oh, Taika.
Today, you boys will be involved in such activities as board games, techniques.
I'm going to head back to the chat quickly. Regina's saying, my dues are $100 twice a year. You pay a percentage of your earnings as dues. Famous people dues can be like $50K or higher. When I was part of the DGC in Canada, this was also the case, although I never really made it past the apprentice level. So my dues, I believe, were only 2% of my total wages, which wasn't bad. But yeah, I assume that it goes higher for the more famous Canadian directors and editors, I guess. Chris saying, are they showing Kristen's face for a change? Star Wars dig. I got you, bro. I got you. Regina, in the future, I'd love to discuss Midsommar, my favorite movie of all time. Yo, that's interesting. I would actually really like to talk about Midsommar as well. We got to break for a second because they're doing an award. Female actor in a drama series, Jennifer Aniston.
We are doing this my way. Because frankly, I've let you bozos handle this long enough.
Jennifer Aniston looking fierce in that clip.
Helena Bonham Carter, The Crown.
Helena Bonham Carter for The Crown.
in your place.
It's like Regina wants Jennifer Aniston to win. We shall see. We shall see.
Our country with, I think we can, favorable results.
Olivia Colman, The Crown.
Olivia Colman for The Crown. Regina, as a voting member, let me know what you think about this. Are split votes a big issue in SAG? Because do Helen Bonham Carter and do these two actresses like split the vote and don't win because of it? Is that something that's kind of discussed, known about? Jodie Comer also nominated for the award.
I do what I like. I don't.
I'm just so bored.
No, vote splitting is not a thing. Interesting. Elizabeth Moss for The Handmaid's Tale. Regina, are they ranked ballots?
And the actor goes to...
The award goes to Jennifer Aniston. Regina called it. Well done. Oh, Regina, I was asking, you said that split votes is not really a thing. To me, that can only really occur if it's a ranked ballot where you, instead of choosing who you think should win, you rank the winners from like 1 to 5, or you can leave them blank. So if you could let me know that, or let us know that, that'd be pretty cool. Because if it is a ranked ballot, that's interesting. All right, let's go back to the chat while Miss Aniston speaks. So, Jennifer Aniston just scared me a little bit. Abhishek saying, I feel this awards are for famous faces and avoid real potential actors like actors from Parasite and Farewell. There's a bit of that, absolutely. Also, the amount of campaign that goes around. There are just movies and shows and production companies that have more money for it, and that's usually what ends up rising to the top as far as the award season goes. Abhishek wanting Helen Bonham Carter to win. Sorry, didn't happen. Olivia saying that Olivia Colman was good too. I believe it. She is a great actress. Check out Peep Show if you've never seen Peep Show. It's a TV show. One of the only TV shows you'll ever see me recommend on this channel because I am a movie person. So Peep Show is amazing. Dory saying, TJ, did you hear that Warner Brothers and Universal have announced a 10-year new joint venture working together on physical media sales, marketing, and manufacturing for cost savings? Yes, I did hear about that, Dory. And it is just another example on our slow march towards a complete monopoly or getting down to like 2 or 3 major media companies in the United States. Like, corporations working together is going to happen like this. And if it's a signal of a potential merger where Warner Brothers will absorb Universal, then, I mean, that'd be weird. I can't imagine that would actually happen, but when I see things like that in the news, I am rarely excited or think that it's going to end well for us, the consumers, at the end point. But I'd really like to know what you think about it as well. Regina's saying that ranked votes are only for selection committee. That's interesting. So the nomination process, then, if I'm reading you correctly, is ranked. Interesting.
I know that, the few times I've been invited back into this room over the last 27
Abhishek saying they seriously snubbed The Crown. This is what I was saying with the split votes, having both Olivia Colman and Helen Bonham Carter in the nomination. For people who just like The Crown, they have to pick one or the other, and if it basically goes 50-50, then it allows Jennifer Aniston to eke ahead. Even though if you were to put the 2 Crown people together and have their total votes, it would be way more potentially. And then Regina just saying single vote for actual award show. That makes sense. That makes sense. Are we about to go to commercial? Are we about to go? Yeah, we are. Sound going down. Oh my God. Survivor 40, guys. You excited? All right. So now that we're in commercial, I'm going to quickly look up the Producer Guild Award winners. We're now an hour into this live stream, and I definitely wanted to touch on some of this stuff just so we can start talking about Oscar predictions and things like that. So I'm not going to do all of them during this break. I'm just going to be looking at the ones that are relevant to us as far as predicting the Oscars go. And that's really just 3 awards from what I can tell. Oh my God, the whole page just died. All right. Live streaming. Everything always goes wrong, but then you just recover by talking. It's great. Okay, so let's start off. Yeah, let's kind of ease into this one a little bit, talking about the Producer Guild Awards. And for people who are just joining us, randomly joining in, we are doing live reactions for the SAG Awards. I'm just taking a quick break during this commercial to talk about the Producer Guild Awards and who won in the categories there that could really tell us what's going to happen at the Academy Awards. So for Best Documentary, there were, 7 films nominated? Advocate, American Factory, Apollo 11, The Cave, For Sama, Honeyland, and One Child Nation. And interestingly enough, Apollo 11 won the award, except it is not nominated for the Academy Award at all. So whoever was saying that the Producers Guild Award is a good predictor for the Academy Awards, maybe they don't know what's up. Maybe they don't know what's going on all the time. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. I still need to see so many of the documentaries. I wonder when we get down to the Academy Awards for that category. I've said before that I feel like it was going to be between Apollo 11 and American Factory, and now that Apollo 11 is not even in it, that it's got to be American Factory. Although now that Dory has turned me on to For Sama, and just so everyone knows, that film is available for free on YouTube if you go to the PBS YouTube channel, is really good, and that's the kind of film that I would want to win an Oscar because of how personal and human the story is and how it brings you into something that you really only see through newscasts, which is the civil war in Syria. It's good. It's a very much a photojournalistic take on the war, but from inside of it, from an insider's perspective. And the way that it's presented as a kind of future letter to their daughter Sama makes a lot of sense considering the subject matter that's going on, and because the daughter is actually in the film itself. Overall, good movie. I still need to watch American Factory. I'm hoping to do that this week. And if you're interested in any kind of discussion, deeper discussion on any of the Oscar-nominated films, let me know. Even any of the categories, if you would like to see videos based around certain categories, let me know that. I do have a rough schedule set up for everything that takes us up to the Oscars, but maybe I can jump on a live stream sometime during a week over the next couple of weeks, like on a work night, and we can chat about stuff like that. Or we can chat about it right now. I'm open. I'm easy. Going back to the chat, Abhishek saying, oh wait, no, I think I already touched on that one. Abhishek saying Olivia won Globes for Crown. True, but it is a much different voting population. The Globes are the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, which are just critics who can be bought, from what I've heard. And for the Screen Actors Guild, it's actual actors voting on it. So I feel like I put more stock in awards like the SAG Awards for acting than I do the the Golden Globes. Oh, popcorn went in a weird hole. Abhishek saying Honeyland was good. Regina saying Honey Boy was great with Shia LaBeouf. I agree. I really liked Honey Boy. Shia actually had a really good year. He was very good in The Peanut Butter Falcon. And it just seems like those films maybe came out at the wrong period, or maybe Shia LaBeouf is still considered maybe kryptonite in the community. I don't really know. Hey, it's Leonardo DiCaprio. Is that Leonardo DiCaprio? Yeah, it's Leonardo DiCaprio.
Good evening, everyone.
I wonder if he's going to have something political to say.
It's an honor to join you here tonight and pay tribute to an exceptional artist. The role of an actor is to make us feel, they take us to new places, using their skills to guide us.
All right, well, he's talking. Just going to go back to the chat.
Understanding of humanity.
Disney is beating Warner. Oh, this is Dory saying Disney is beating Warner Brothers and Universal like a government mule. It is only natural to consolidate non-core businesses. They're doing the Robert De Niro. I'm actually going to turn this down again. They're doing the Robert De Niro honorary award right now, which, is of interest, but I don't personally find that interesting. And so Dory's saying that about Disney beating up on Warner Brothers and Universal, and it's only natural for them to consolidate their home release divisions. Yeah, it makes sense, and I guess it's just another example of how the monopolization of the industry that Disney is currently attempting to do, how it can just negatively impact and force other people to join together to help defeat them, and so we end up getting kind of a Disney plus like another major conglomerate who can basically just divide up the box office, charge what they want, and the competition goes down, which is not great.
Like so many of you here tonight, here's the actor I watched as a young man.
Abhishek asking chat, according to you, asking me personally, who will win Best Animated Feature at the Academy Awards? I assume it's going to be Toy Story 4, as it has the name recognition. I've heard stories in the past where when the broader voting block of the Academy is concerned, a lot of them will just check off whichever one they went to with their kids. And I think when we look at the nominations, there's obviously people inside of the animation part of the Academy who are very passionate about films that are not necessarily from Disney, as Toy Story 4 was the only Disney film to make it in. And films like Klaus and I Lost My Body were nominated, even though they were not nominated for, say, Golden Globes. So I think it's great that those films got nominated, but I don't see them having a chance against Toy Story 4 just based on name recognition alone, although I would love to be surprised by that. And we also can't ignore the fact that Missing Link won the Golden Globe. So could be that one. If I had to pick something instead of Toy Story 4, it would be Missing Link. But I'm always kind of torn as to whether or not the Golden Globes are good predictors or not, just because they are critics voting, and critics who can be bought and sold pretty easily, as opposed to actual people in the industry doing the voting. But we're going to be talking about who won Best Animated Feature at the PGAs later on in the live stream, so that'll be a good way for us to talk about that a bit more. Dory's saying that American Factory was fantastic, but For Sama is my winner's pick. So Dory, are you saying that For Sama is a better documentary than American Factory, or do you think that For Sama just has a better chance of winning because of the type of film that it is? Because I always find that to be an interesting distinction when it comes to the awards. Regina's saying, if you do Oscars live, I'll watch then too. This is cool. Regina, I am definitely going to be live streaming the Oscars. There is no doubt in my mind that I'm going to be doing that. I'm also going to be live streaming, I'm probably going to be live streaming the Independent Spirit Awards the day before. I'm going to be doing a whole Oscars weekend on the channel. But yeah, I'm going to be live streaming the Independent Spirit Awards and perhaps one other one. I can't really remember. In any case, I do live streams every Sunday. And so during awards month, if there's nothing to live react to, then I will be talking about other awards that have been presented in other for other guilds, other critic circles, things like this. So subscribe to the channel, get notified, and come hang out with us again. We always love having people in the chat. Chris F saying documentary branch has a well-known unofficial policy of snubbing some of the most successful docs because the popular ones don't need the publicity. A long-standing scandal. That's interesting. And I know it kind of speaks to a kind of activism inside of the documentary branch. But it also makes me wonder why they don't do things like that for, say, Michael Moore films. Like I remember Bowling for Columbine and Fahrenheit 9/11 both got nominated. Bowling for Columbine won, and both of those films were easily the highest-grossing documentaries of that year. Fahrenheit 9/11, I believe, broke records. So yeah, I see that being a reason. It makes sense in the case of Apollo 11. Dory saying Lucas Hedges had a great year with Honey Boy and Waves 2. Yeah, Lucas Hedges did really well this year. That guy is building up like a very solid filmography right now. He's one to look out for. Absolutely. Regina's saying, so happy for the other new film opportunities from Netflix and other streamers. Finally, more acting opportunities opening up. Regina, I agree. I live in Toronto, and Netflix has is making big plays here, and our industries are opening up here more and more and more, which I always think is great. I have a lot of friends who work in the film industry and the television industry, and the more work that they can get, I think the better. And Netflix has a big part in that because they're making the most investment out of anybody, really. They're investing so much money. It's kind of ridiculous. I also suspect, and this is a bit of a hot take future prediction, that at some point in the future, Netflix will become the official sponsor of TIFF, and TIFF will somehow have to break their relationship with Bell in Canada. And they will no longer be working with Cineplex in Canada either. But that's over the next 5 years. I think it's probably going to go that way. Abhishek saying, has anyone watched Missing Link? It was a good movie. I haven't watched it yet, but it's on Amazon Prime, so it's a pretty easy one to track down if you want to see it. I might be watching it this week. I'm not sure. I definitely will be watching all the Oscar-nominated films before the Oscars, so that includes the animated films. I got to see them. I got to see them all. Dory saying, for Sama, checks all the Oscar bait boxes, but American Factory doesn't. Oh, interesting. I wonder, though. I got to imagine that Obama is campaigning pretty hard for American Factory, and whether or not that's going to play any, whether or not that's going to play into anything in particular. Like, are people going to be kind of smitten with the fact that a former president is letting them know that he would really appreciate it if they voted for his documentary? I don't know. It's a different circumstance, at least. It's an unknown factor. Chris saying, despite ownership, I think that the animation branch Pixar is very different from Disney animation. Different people, different relationships, different histories. Very true. Personally, for me, looking at it from an industry standpoint, I don't see much of a difference between them anymore. Disney and Pixar are essentially the same thing in my mind, but Pixar does get more respect than Disney at this point, and deservedly so, considering the things that they've put out, the films that they've put out over the years.
My next job is working with you and Marty.
Abhishek saying, Roma was huge winner and Parasite got snubbed. According to me, Parasite is much better movie compared to Roma. Just the director of Roma was more famous doesn't mean it should win major awards. Interesting. Abhishek, I'm of the opposite opinion of you. I think that Roma is a better film than Parasite, although I think it kind of comes down to taste because they're both very good in general. And yeah, I can kind of see that Alfonso Cuarón, being the director of Roma, getting more accolades and having that kind of fame behind him being an advantage coming into award season. He's also played the award season game before with Gravity. He was definitely campaigning for that when that was a big film. I think he also had been doing some campaigning for Children of Men and maybe a film in between there that I can't remember right now. But yeah, and I think he can speak English, which is something that Bong Joon-ho is not very well known for, to my knowledge. So I think that probably also helps him as well. But whether or not you like Parasite or Roma better, I think we can all agree that both of them are fantastic films. Chris saying, political stuff sometimes get a pass. Mr. Rogers and identical triplets were snubbed, but Ruth Bader Ginsburg got a nom that year. And Free Solo is Nat Geo the top employer of documentaries? Maybe so. Oh, interesting. Okay, I hadn't considered that in terms of the documentary nominations. I did find it odd that the Mr. Rogers documentary lost to Three Identical Strangers that year. I thought for sure it was going to win because, yeah, a lot of its promotion, especially leading up to the Oscars, was, hey, guess what? It is the highest grossing documentary of all time, or at least of that year. And it got nothing. It got nothing at all.
I have as much right as anybody, an actor, an athlete, a musician.
Oh, excuse me. And speaking of Free Solo, I really need to see that still. I want to see it in IMAX, though. I don't want to see it on my stupid little TV. For those people wondering when the political speech was going to come into the SAG Awards, it is right now with Robert De Niro's acceptance speech. He is, I believe, talking about the impeachment inquiry against Donald Trump right now.
And that's all I'm going to say about that tonight. So I'm so happy to share this with so many friends here tonight. My dear friends Julie and Barry, Fiona and Art, Marianne and Josh, James, Stan, my beautiful son Julian, all my beautiful sons and daughters watching at home. The whole Netflix Irishman crew.
Excuse me as I brush crumbs off of my chest. That's the kind of content I know you guys show up for. Me cleaning myself.
My friends, thank you.
Really wish my cat would like get up here like I promised he would. We're going to commercial for a quick second. I'm going to see if maybe I can get him over here. Just a moment. Oh, God. I moved the camera.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Wouldn't you rather be here? No, not at all. Oh, you want my seat? Everyone, this is Rocco. He's a good boy most of the time. He also loves popcorn. Maybe that will get him back over here. Rocco, you could be famous on the internet if you would just lay down these blankets. Come on, dude. Regina in the chat saying, Three Identical Strangers was so compelling, especially with one of the three triplets passing away. No doubt. Three Identical Strangers was a decent documentary. It's one of these things that I don't often talk about when it comes to the awards season and my own viewing of it, but I have a real hard time getting to the documentaries. And so I think in that year, I didn't really see any of the documentary nominees until after the awards had come out. And so I was viewing them with that bias in my head already, that Three Identical Strangers would be incredible because it won the Oscar. And then when I actually ended up seeing it, I was like, yeah, it's good. It's pretty good. I like it. But I always invariably compare documentaries back to the big kind of ones that were very important to me when I was, as an example, going through film school, which was Chris Marker's Sans Soleil, as an example. And when I look at something like Three Identical Strangers compared to that, or even to like the earlier, or some of the documentaries of Errol Morris, like Thin Blue Line, or some of the stuff that Werner Herzog has done, a film like Three Identical Strangers just doesn't really work for me in that way. And I think it's unfair because I don't really do it with other film, but I always want documentary to be kind of pushing that envelope of greatness, because I feel like it's one of the genres of film where you can easily, and with a low budget, really go and really do something that is extraordinarily different and extraordinarily like incredible. And it's just not happening as much anymore, because I feel like a lot of documentaries are trying to set themselves up as being profitable, or at least attractive to television networks. As an example, Three Identical Strangers, as far as I know, is either sold to or financed by CNN, and so they're making documentaries for a very specific audience. And those types of documentaries don't really do it for me, because I'm always wanting that kind of subversive. No, subversive is not the right word, but I want my documentaries to be pushing the envelope as far as creativity. And if we're just talking about like an interesting story with a couple of talking heads, it doesn't do much for me. The Blackfish documentary was another example of that. A very important thing to talk about, a very important subject and topic, but the presentation didn't do much for me. But I know not everyone feels that way, and I'm kind of a pretentious asshole when it comes to certain things because of my film education. I wish I could help that, but I can't. I try to be humble about it. I try to be jolly about it, but there are just some things that it's hard for me to do that with. Going back to the chat. Ozgay saying, Rocco, big fan of the cat in the chat. Regina saying, I'm allergic to cat, and then she just sneezed. Gesundheit. Abhishek asking Regina, what about the movie Cats? Surely you can't be allergic to that film and its glory. Regina saying, on my resume, it's listed as allergic, can't work with cats. The movie Cats I didn't see. Cats is turning into an interesting film. Cats is turning into a really, really interesting film. Maybe when we get to a future commercial break, I'll talk about one of my experiences with it. I was just saying, I literally slept in the movie. It was bad. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Dory's saying, won't you be my neighbor? And Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse got snubbed for Best Picture last year.
How do you do?
Interesting. I don't disagree. And Abhishek saying that Spider-Man did win the Oscar last year for Best Animated Film, yes, but I believe Dory was talking about Best Picture, period. And hey, Steve Buscemi's on screen. What's up, Steve Buscemi?
Or in the case of streaming series, showing up on a Friday night and sticking around all weekend, maybe into Monday.
God
So let's
damn it.
take a look at some old
Popcorn's
pals
trying to
who
escape from
recently
me.
ended their run. Don't worry, they're not going anywhere. Whenever we need them, they're only as far away as our queues and watch lists.
What is this? Curtain call?
I will be president or I will be nothing.
President or nothing? Yeah. You're really not saying the bottom. I'm sorry, dude. You said about a million
Is this an
times.
entire package dedicated to streaming services?
The finger.
Hi, I'm Jane.
Boom. Your life is over.
I don't understand the purpose of this. Are the SAG awards trying to teach us about the good things about streaming services?
Still, each one more magnificent than the last.
All I need is a healthy ovum, and I can grow my own Leonard Nemo.
That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
Pink means pregnant.
But I've never had sex.
Oh my god.
So no matter what I do with my hair, it just keeps falling in this really chic way.
Oh god.
Dude, your age, I'm surprised you can even make it through a meeting that long without any pee.
Why do you always have to go straight to the prostate?
Because you light a fire inside me.
So we're not getting married.
No.
But we're not breaking up.
No.
So what are we going to do? If we both die and you never find out that I still love you, what, like I win a prize from?
I know you guys come here for the hot commentary, but
You know nothing.
I don't know what to do at this point. SAG awards are trying to tell me that streaming services are good, I guess.
Sir?
What is your favorite streaming series that's streaming? Let me know in the chat. Guys, I don't know what's going on. Some of these series aren't even streaming first. Like, they're showing clips of The Big Bang Theory, which was a network show. It was on CBS for like 12 goddamn years. What are you trying to do here? You're trying to get me to subscribe to the Warner Brothers Max or whatever it is? Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Excuse me. Oh my god, just more burping for me. All right, everyone, we are now doing male actor in a drama series.
Some intense feelings in the viewer: love, hate, anger, sadness, and surprise, to name a few.
Check out the chat real quick. Fleabag or Regina saying Fleabag Comedy Ensemble. Yeah, I did win that. Dory's saying The Boys for the win. Ooh, Sterling K. Brown apparently is up for This Is Us. I hope he wins that, because then I'll just pretend that he won it for Waves, and my day will get a lot better.
I refuse to be blamed for the fact that you had your awakening 20 years too late.
Sterling K. Brown is legitimately great, though. I love him. Steve Carell for the morning show also got nominated.
Legacy. You can't ask me to not fight for that.
I can't, and I am. I'm asking.
I'm getting low on popcorn, guys. I didn't think it was going to last this long, honestly.
No.
Billy Crudup, The Morning Show.
Billy Crudup for the morning show also nominated. And I believe, yep, Regina is picking Billy Crudup in this one. Interesting. I wouldn't mind him winning. I saw him on Broadway once. He was pretty good.
Peter Dinklage, Game of Thrones.
Peter Dinklage, Game of Thrones. I'm sure he's won this category a couple of times. I just wonder if season 8 of Game of Thrones being not great drags him down a bit.
Maybe Cersei will win and kill us all. That can solve our problems.
I really hope he gets a good role.
Stranger Things.
David Harbour for Stranger Things also nominated. I'm really worried that Peter Dinklage will not get like good roles anymore.
It's not after me.
I hope that he still is able to get good roles, but I just hope he doesn't get typecast as like that guy in Game of Thrones. David Harbour's hair is crazy. My dude, do something with that.
And the actor goes to
And the award goes to
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage. I guess season 8 of Game of Thrones didn't affect him that much. All right. Let's go back to the chat. Abhishek saying Netflix is giving the platform to more stories and new talent, but it's killing the movie experience in theater. It seems soon all movies will go on Netflix. You're not wrong. But also from a personal perspective, I don't exactly have that same kind of experience that you're experiencing, because all Netflix films, Netflix originals, are shown at TIFF. So I can watch them in a theater. And I'm also now starting to see other theaters in Toronto, like the newly reopened Paradise Theater, also showing Netflix films like Marriage Story. So I think what we're going to end up seeing is that with the Paramount decision getting repealed at some point, unfortunately, I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix starts buying up a lot of single-screen theaters, or at least smaller theater chains, in order to get their films into theaters. I don't think that the theater experience is going away anytime soon, personally. And I don't think Netflix is going to be the thing that kills it. I think Disney actually has a much better chance of killing the theater experience than any other company. Regina said Billy Cudrup. That unfortunately did not come true. Sorry, Regina. Chris saying, Seg should love Netflix. Disney made 9 movies last year. Netflix made what, 100? And more TV series than the big 3 combined? Absolutely true, and that's probably why they did that that little montage of streaming services. Abhishek saying, I'm big American Horror Story fan. Everyone doesn't agree, but it's a good show. Cool. I haven't watched since like the first season.
I'm particularly proud.
I think we've got Harvey Keitel, Anna Paquin, and Ray Romano on stage right now. I think they're just going to be introducing The Irishman for Best Ensemble. Regina's saying, yes, we love Netflix. No doubt, no doubt. And I imagine, too, that Amazon Prime plays into that as well. Like, I don't think their production slate is as big or is as expensive, if you'll excuse the pun, as Netflix. But, you know, when you look at the fact that Amazon Prime does save a TV show like The Expanse, when a traditional broadcaster was ready to cancel it after 3 very, very good seasons, it speaks to the fact that some of these streaming services are just better positioned and are better monetized to keep certain things alive and keep them going for the better, to be perfectly frank.
That's not up there.
Chris saying that Dinklage never won a SAG. Oh, really?
It is now.
That's shocking to me. The dude's picked up a few Emmys. Like, he's picked up a few Emmys. You think there'd be some crossover there? Abhishek saying finally he won last time for GOT, Game of Thrones. Abhishek also saying not everyone here in New Zealand. Oh, Abhishek, you're from New Zealand. That's awesome. Thank you for joining us. What time is it there? Is it early in the morning? How far in the future are you? But yeah, Abhishek saying here in New Zealand they don't get screened as it's available on Netflix, and running them in theaters is not a good idea here. That sucks. That sucks. I wish that the Toronto situation that I have was the same everywhere, but unfortunately it just isn't. And I know that, which is why I think that Netflix is going to start buying theaters. I wouldn't be surprised if they were to start buying a couple of theaters in the bigger cities in New Zealand, as an example.
But to achieve it all together as a company elevates a story to new
Phoebe Waller-Bridge out here to present an award.
Ensembles are the most electric and generous on television right now. Here are the nominees for outstanding performance by an ensemble in a drama series.
So we're doing TV ensemble. Big Little Lies is one hell of an ensemble, I'll tell you that. It's got Laura Dern in it, so already I like it.
I'm just telling you this because we have to be prepared.
Nicole Kidman's there too. Renee Zellweger.
We have to stick together.
My God.
That's the only way we've gotten this far. If we stick together, we'll be fine. We're gonna be fine.
Abhishek, thank you for joining us from Monday afternoon.
The Ensemble of the Crown.
Crown also nominated in this category. Got Helen Bonham Carter. We've got Olivia Colman. Strong.
Let me offer 2 pieces of advice.
I don't really know anyone else in this cast. I will admit that.
Watch out for your family.
They mean well.
No, they don't.
The Ensemble of Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones also up for nomination. Best ensemble. I think we all probably know who's in Game of Thrones at this point. Actually, a really strong ensemble cast when you put them all together.
We're close enough to pursue him when he does.
Driving fly with stuff in?
I don't know. No one's ever tried.
The Ensemble of The Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale, also a decent ensemble. And shout out to Toronto because that's where they film it.
Starting to smell. Looks like the same batch from yesterday and the day before. Maybe they're done with Martha's. Who's next?
We got Regina saying the morning show's going to win. Abhishek saying Crown should win.
The Ensemble of Stranger Things.
Stranger Things also nominated.
My favorite. Its weapon with melted people.
Yes, exactly.
I'm going to get back to the chat for some of these things after this award is given out. Interesting things being said. Man, I haven't watched Stranger Things since season 2, but it's so neon. Like, there's so much neon.
And kill it. Theoretically.
And the actor goes to
And the award goes to
The Crown.
The Crown. Wow, well done. They beat out a couple of very good ensembles, so that's good for them. Good for them. All right, let's get back to the chat. Regina's saying something that I wanted to pick up on here. Unfortunately, our new media contract is not great. Our pay is 1/3 theatrical rate. That is abysmal. But does that include, like, a film like The Irishman? Obviously, they are going to have different contracts because it would be like an A-list production, as an example. But would that have been made as a new media production and not as a feature film under Guild contract? Because that seems odd to me that they would do that. Yeah, please give me more information on that, because that is shockingly bad. And if Martin Scorsese is able to come in here and say, like, oh yeah, I'm making a film that I want to be treated as a film that is a film. He just keeps saying film over again. But then SAG treats it as a new media. What was the word? A new media contract, just to save on certain costs for personnel and for actors. That's some bullshit if that's actually happening.
Thank you for his genius.
And of course, it's worth saying, and not to minimize what Regina said,
It's the most fun job
that
amazed that we get a prize
films that are produced
on top of the
for theatrical release or just produced as films and are then purchased by Netflix are obviously not subject to that third rate under new media. They're not going to take money back from actors. So,
I really recommend it.
Still though, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
It's amazing how well produced.
Hopefully the Guild is able to renegotiate that. That's at any kind of upcoming labor distributor, labor contract renegotiation. Let's see. We had Regina saying she wanted the morning show to win. Didn't happen. Sorry. Abhishek saying crowd should win this award, but Game of Thrones might win as the crowd favorite. Well, we all know now that it was The Crown that won. Congratulations to them. Abhishek throwing in some party streamers, and I'm going to guess Those are meant to be emojis for the Queen, perhaps. And Regina's saying the major stars get their money naturally, but smaller players may have been at scale. And then so their scale pay is a third of what they'd be making on a feature film. That sucks. That's stupid. That needs to be renegotiated real goddamn fast. Regina is saying, yeah, I wish they renegotiate. I agree. I come from a union background when it comes to film. Like I was a member of the DGC for a couple of years, and the role of the union is so important in things like this to make sure that people get paid what they're supposed to be getting paid. And the fact that the union would let that go as part of initial negotiation is real bad. And I feel sorry. I feel sorry for you, Guild Sister. That sucks. I really hope that gets turned around for you guys. All right. I'm going to take this opportunity to go back to the Producer Guild Awards. We already talked about Best Documentary, so now let's look at the Best Animated Feature. And the degree to which this is a predictor versus, say, the Annie Awards or another one, I'm not too sure on. I would like to think that the Annies would be a better predictor than this, but it's still worth talking about because some of these films were also nominated for the Academy Award. So, for Best Animated Feature at the PGAs, we had Abominable, Frozen 2, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, Missing Link, and Toy Story. And the winner ended up being Toy Story 4, to be exact. And that makes a lot of sense to me. Obviously, Missing Link would have been one that we all thought could have won based on its Golden Globes performance. But yeah, I'm more and more convinced that Toy Story 4 is the runaway favorite for the Academy Award. Unless something real crazy happens at the Annies, as an example, or we start seeing splits in other awards, like I believe the Directors Guild has like Best Director of an Animated Film as an award, as an example. And if we start seeing other films winning there as well, then maybe we can start thinking about other possible awards or other films as being favorites for it, or at least start thinking about the categories perhaps being split. But for now, I'm thinking it's Toy Story 4. And now, I'm going to leave you all very briefly to use the washroom. I will be muting this so you won't have to hear commercials or whatever sounds happen to come from the bathroom, but I'll be right back. I'll see you in a minute. Please don't go away. And I'm back just in time to see Margot Robbie come out. And who are these other actresses? Oh, yes, it is Charlize Theron and Nicole Kidman.
Tonight's final nominee, The Cast in a Motion Picture, is a film about successful career women.
All right, so they're just doing the montage for Bombshell. Having seen Bombshell, don't think it should even be nominated for Best Ensemble, personally, but it's not a bad flick. Let's go back to the chat. Regina's saying that she doesn't know any of the info on The Irishman in regards to pay and like how actors were being paid for it, considering it could potentially be considered new media, which would be super weird. Abhishank's saying Netflix has good content, sometimes better than movies made for cinema, and it's reached more people. Absolutely. When a film like Atlantis, as an example, gets picked up by Netflix, I'm super happy for that. You know, it picks up a couple of, or picks up an award or two maybe at Cannes, and then it gets released on a platform where literally almost the entire world can watch it, and that's a great thing. I guess there is also the possibility that it gets buried under all the other content, but it's there if people want to find it. And here we go.
Voices in this category show us men facing defining crises of their lives in vastly different circumstances. And while the stories are unique, each performer.
Sorry, I'm just looking at these presenters, and I am stunned by them.
Complex, fully realized characters, and we can't take our eyes off of them. Here are our nominees for the outstanding performance of a male actor in a television movie or limited series.
All right, outstanding male performance in a television movie. Mahershala Ali, True Detective, nominated.
At the time, and no clarity at all. Yeah. Just do your best. Learn to live with ambiguity.
I've not seen the new season of True Detective. If you've seen it, let me know in the chat if it's any good, if it's worth watching. Russell Crowe, loudest voice. Was not a big fan of season 2 of True Detective. Really did like season 1 though. I thought that was really good. Jared Harris for Chernobyl. I'd really love to see him win this award. I have not seen Chernobyl. I have not seen many of the things in this category, but I really, really love Jared Harris. Look at him. Giving the old metal horns. That's dope. Jarrell Jerome for When They See Us, also nominated for this. All right, I'm down to kernels. Down to kernels in the popcorn, so I think that's a good time to stop. Ooh, Sam Rockwell, Fosse for Dunn. Chris F. This one's for you, man.
Watch every angle and number again. I'd rather slit my throat. So, is that what you want? You want another number? I need to go.
And the actor goes to Sam Rockwell.
The award went to Sam Rockwell. He looks plenty surprised by that. My goodness, he is shocked a little bit. And then he just, casually kisses Meryl Streep on the lips because he's Sam Rockwell. All right. Let's go back to the chat real quick. Abhishek asking Regina, does other awards affect the voting for Oscar, or is it just based on personal favorite? Regina responding, I think so, but many Oscar voters are literally older Hollywood. Abhishek saying, but Academy have 8,000 members around the world. And then Regina saying, we have Regina, the city in Canada, but I'm pretty sure your name is pronounced Regina. If it's not, please let me know, and I will change my ways. But Regina's saying that 7,000 of them are older. And yeah, that's super sad, as Abhishek said right after that. It's one of the main reasons why we get such weird films getting nominated for Oscars and certain people in films getting overlooked. It's going to change as the older generation dies off, but it's not changing fast enough in my mind. I'm not saying that I want those people to die faster, but I feel like if a newer, younger generation of voters were more prominent for the Oscars, a film like Waves wouldn't be overlooked for something like Ford versus Ferrari. And I've said this before, Ford versus Ferrari, 100% a dad film. If you're an old white man, you probably like Ford versus Ferrari. Not to say you have to be, but you could be.
As screen actors, we are immensely fortunate.
Sterling K. Brown just came out here. I have to set my eyes directly on him. I also have to finish this caffeinated beverage, which I won't name by name, but I'm going to be up a long time if this keeps up.
This year have imparted an extraordinary legacy. Performances that will continue to captivate, entertain, and inspire.
It's like we have Ada Eva. I'm not going to do your whole name, but Ada saying gracias, excelente, and saludo. Gracias. Thank you for joining us in the chat. Please let us know what you've been thinking about the awards so far. Oh, you know what? I think they're doing the memorial for people who have passed away, so I'm just going to shut the hell up.
If you had it to do all over again, would you have done it differently?
That's what a union is. One.
Why I get the feeling that I'm kind of losing an old friend.
Remember all the places we could have gone. We should have gone there.
Whatever you decide, you don't have to do nothing. You don't have to.
Peggy Lipton died?
Have you got what it takes to pull back a job?
I am afraid. That's what I think.
I can't believe you gave up what means the most to you for me.
In the privacy of our own lives, you're doing the right thing.
Walter, let me shake your hand. It's been a real pleasure to have known you.
Shut your hole, you drunken donut.
The real me just came shining through. I want you to be proud of me.
I'm sure it's all about this shit. Oh, wonderful laugh.
You left a big hole there. A place where there used to be something. All those moments.
Oh, Rutger Hauer.
Like tears in rain. Why am I doing this? Make up my mind. That's it.
Wait, what's love somebody? You always love me.
You have no idea what it means to love someone enough to let them go. You gain some, you lose some. But you live every day.
Our love, devotion, that's what really counts.
Things can be the way they were. I know it. I just know it.
You ever want to be somebody else? Never wanted to be anybody else.
All right, that was the in memoriam. For people who are joining and just saw that I was quiet, I wanted to pay as much respect as I could, but I did react to a few of them. Peggy Lipton being one of them. I didn't actually know that she passed, and I'm going to go back through the chat at some point here, but Chris just saying there at the end that Peggy Lipton was Rashida Jones's mom, right, in Miss Quincy Jones. And Regina's saying yes. Thank you, Regina, because I had no idea. But for me, Peggy Lipton is she's Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks is probably my all-time favorite television show, and yeah, that's a real goddamn shame. I didn't know about that one. And then I also reacted to Rutger Hauer as well. Blade Runner is one of my all-time favorite films, and they actually used the Tears in Rain speech from that film to commemorate him, which is, yeah, it's a good one. You can't really pick any other moment in his career for that. So let's just go back to the chat, a little bit further back up the chat. And we had Chris saying, consider this. The Annie nominations had no problem with Frozen 2, but the Academy Animation branch did. One would guess Annie nominations are more representative of what animation think, right? Odd. Yeah, that is interesting. That is very interesting. Huh. I wonder if the Annies have a more... Well, no, I guess the Annies would be more... I'm not sure what the voting block of the Annies are specifically, and if they're like geographically locked in some way. The Academy Awards, as an example, we know we're international, and so that provides a greater chance for a film like I Lost My Body or Klaus to get nominated. If the Annies are American only, then I think it stands to reason that there would be a better chance of them being nominated. There's a better chance that they would nominate an American film, especially a Disney film. Yeah, it is interesting. And then we had Regina saying, I voted stunt with Ford versus Ferrari. To win the stunt one. That one's going to be real interesting, actually. I have no idea what to think about the stunt award, as I've never actually had to think about it in any kind of capacity. I really hope that they add a stunt category to the Academy Awards. I think that's well overdue. And if there was a way for me to campaign for that, I definitely would try to. And then we had Chris saying Rockwell is right to be shocked. Co-star Michelle Williams has been a front runner throughout all these award shows, but Rockwell's competition is brutal. Harris, Ali, Russell Crowe. Yeah, that's absolutely true. It's almost like, yeah, I imagine the good analog for that would be considered like the best supporting actor award for film, and someone other than Brad Pitt winning. You know? And someone who we think would be fairly far down that list. I think that's probably a good analogy. Let me know if I'm right on that or not. But and then coming back to Peggy Lipton, Chris saying, "I'm so old. I saw her on Mod Squad. Damn." I thought, I've never actually seen Mod Squad. If she's in that, I should probably check it out, because I really enjoyed her work on Twin Peaks. Not saying that it's going to be any similar, but I would like to see more of her work, actually. It's always the shitty thing about finding out that someone's died, right? That they have this great filmography or body of work, and the only thing that really motivates people to see some of what they've done is their death. It's a shame that we can't celebrate more performers when they're actually alive, so that they can appreciate and at least have that certain amount of accolade and appreciation for the work that they've done. Dory saying, shocker, the SAG Awards will end at 10:15. I wouldn't mind if that happened. I'd be a big fan of that. I will be sticking around on the stream a little bit to talk about particularly anything that you guys want to talk about, but also just like a little kind of update on where I think the Oscars are going. But then I am watching that new Jason Bateman TV show. Hey, it's Glenn Close. What is that show that I'm going to watch? Can't remember.
A gesture.
The Guest? No, it's not The Guest.
A twinkle in the eye. The gentlemen in this category have brought us 5 extraordinary examples of how an actor can inhabit a role right down to the cellular level. Here are the nominees for outstanding performance by a male actor in a leading role.
All right. Male actor in a leading role.
Ford versus Ferrari.
Back to film. We got Christian Bale, Ford versus Ferrari. Absolutely not winning this award. Regina, welcome back. You're just in time for the best male in a leading role. Just talking about Christian Bale right now. He ain't winning for that. Not a shot. Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Also no chance, although I did really like him in this role.
You don't rent. Eddie O'Brien taught me that. Hollywood real estate means you live here. You're not just visiting, not just passing through. You live here.
Oh, they used a clip that had profanity in it. Maybe they should do that for some of the other ones, like Al Pacino. Adam Driver, Marriage Story. Let me know in the comments who you think's going to win this award. Dory's saying, I want Christian Bale to win. Abhishek saying 2 ferns? Pourquoi? Regina saying Joaquin. Abhishek saying Between the Ferns. Between 2 ferns? Ooh, Taron Egerton for Rocket Man. Also nominated in this. Abhishek saying that Joker is the winner, also known as Joaquin Phoenix. What if Taron Egerton won, though? What if somehow he carried the momentum through the Golden Globes and won this? Wouldn't that just be insane? All right, Joaquin Phoenix just announced for this award as well. For nomination, we don't have a winner yet. We don't have a winner. All right. And the award goes to hit me, Glenn Close.
The actor goes to
Hit me.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix for Joker wins. I'm actually curious to see what he talks about in his acceptance speech for this award versus what he did for the Golden Globes, because he was very much like, he just started off with like vegan stuff right off the top, climate change stuff right off the top. Maybe he had less champagne tonight, and maybe he's going to be a bit more measured. But I'm curious. I'm curious to see what he actually talks about.
I was here many years ago, and I couldn't fully appreciate it at the time. I now realize how fortunate I am to be a part of this community, have such reverence for.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where he's going with this. I'm going to check in back with the chat real quick while he's talking, unless something he says.
A little bit about my fellow nominees, if that's okay.
Oh, he's going to talk a little bit about his fellow nominees, which means I am fully entitled to check out. Let's see. Abhishek saying, sorry, I keep putting an N in your name. I apologize for that. Abhishek saying, Oscar has low rating because it's not changing with the times. True. All male directors and mostly white. They are not open to people who are talented despite of color. Also very true. I've been saying this a lot on this channel. God damn it, give Greta Gerwig a nomination for Best Director. She absolutely directed the shit out of Little Women. I would say that she directed at a level much higher than what Todd Phillips did on Joker. It's kind of incredible that he was nominated over Greta Gerwig. I had heard that a lot of the male voting bloc of the Academy just wasn't going to see Little Women because they assumed it was just some kind of chick flick that wasn't for them, and that led to a bunch of snubs, and that is awful. It is real dumb. So yeah, I agree. The Oscars, they will change with the times eventually. They're just very slow, unfortunately.
I'm so happy for you wherever you
Abhishek also saying that Frozen 2 is not great. I haven't seen it, so I don't know about that. Chris saying the Mod Squad was syndicated, but still a long time ago. Yeah, that show would have been from the late 70s, early 80s, I believe, right? Regina saying 10100 BRB. I feel like I know what you're referring to. Angie's back. Welcome back. Dory saying wanted Christian Bale to win. Unfortunately, did not. Chris F saying that Damon was better. Bale was playing a larger character role. See, to me, Matt Damon was just Matt Damon in Ford versus Ferrari. He didn't really do anything beyond being Matt Damon. So yeah, I couldn't really get behind him for any award season type stuff at all. Let's see. Abhishek, predicted winner, Joker. Yep, knew it. Got it. Dory saying, don't forget Awkwafina, she was robbed. I agree. I think, yeah, when you look at the best... Oh, wait, sorry, we got Tom Hanks out on stage. Best, we're doing female actor in a leading role. Cynthia Erivo for Harriet. I need to watch this movie.
Try to destroy my people, but you won't. God ain't showing me the future. My people are free. My people are free.
Yeah, she's cute. They just went to a shot of her, and she kind of just did one of these. It was nice. Scarlett Johansson, Marriage Story, also. Please let me know in the chat who you think is going to win this one.
And he was the draw. And that would have been fine, but...
I really don't think Scarlett Johansson should win this award. I honestly believe that it's... Yeah, she's good. Oh, Lupita Nyong'o, please. Please, Lupita Nyong'o. Please, Lupita Nyong'o. What she did in Us is so goddamn incredible, and it would be such a nice fuck you to the Academy if she won this. Please, Lupita Nyong'o. Please.
Charlize Theron, Bombshell.
Charlize Theron and Bombshell. Don't even...
You need access. At what price?
No.
At what price? The price of our apartment. My salary.
got to be Lupita. I mean, I know Renee Zellweger. God damn it. They haven't announced the winner yet, but yeah, Renee Zellweger is also nominated. All right, let's see what happens. See what happens. God, it's all right. Good luck to everybody.
And the actor goes to Renee Zellweger.
Renee Zellweger. All right. Well, that pretty much firms it up for the Oscars then. I am pretty confident that she is going to walk away with the Oscar now, especially when she doesn't have Lupita to go up against. Although I wonder if Saoirse Ronan getting in for getting nominated and any kind of momentum that Little Women might have, if that has a shot at it. But I'd be pretty comfortable picking Renee Zellweger to win. All right. Let's see. All right. Going back to the chat. Uzge is saying that, or Uzga, sorry, saying that Matt Damon is always just Matt Damon. Yes. Yes, that is correct. Abhishek saying Awkwafina was strong for Best Actress, but Oscar won't take chance on a comedian, and especially if they can come from another part of the world. Yep. Yeah, we've seen that before. Talk to Jim Carrey about that. He knows all about that. Dory saying Renee Zellweger. Please, Lord. Looks like you got your wish, Dory. You got your wish. Regina saying, except in Talented Mr. Ripley, Damon rocked that role. Oh, 100%. Damon was very good in Talented Mr. Ripley. Although, did he get nominated for that role? I actually don't remember. And Regina looks like also wanted Lupita. And Uzga wanted Lupita as well. We can come together in our sadness. Abhishek saying that Renee will win. Correct. Chris saying that Judy is a very weak film, but so was the Oldman Churchill movie, which was an awesome performance. I tend to agree with you, although I still don't think that Oldman's performance in God, what was that movie called? I was about to call it Downfall, but that's not what it is. I still don't really think that his performance in that movie was very good. It felt very kind of campy and over the top. I wasn't a big fan of how they actually presented Churchill or how his performance worked in it. And the film overall was just really not good. I was like, once again, it falls into that category of dad films where I think older male members of the Academy are voting for that type of film, and it's just like, it's not anything. It's not. It shouldn't have been there. It shouldn't have been there. Darkest Hour. Thank you, Regina. That was the name of the film. Dory's saying, after watching Judy, I saw 4 old Judy Garland movies. Pretty sweet. Let us know which ones. I'm always a big fan of those older films. Give me some recs. Give me some recommendations. Abhishek saying The Lighthouse got major snubbed everywhere. 100%. Willem Dafoe in The Lighthouse is a performance we are going to look back on 20 years from now and say, what in the hell were we thinking not giving that man a nomination, not giving him a potential win? I know the Best Supporting Actor was stacked to all hell this year, but like, you could lose Al Pacino and replace him with Willem Dafoe, and it automatically brings like 300% more credibility to that category. As much as I love Al Pacino, like, look me in the eye and tell me that Willem Dafoe's performance was worse. You can't. Willem Dafoe was so good. He was so good in The Lighthouse. Abhishek rolling her eyes a little bit at Renee. I like how we can have the chat here. People are just saying their different stuff, but no one's really going after each other. There are no arguments breaking out. We're all just kind of chilling, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the people who can just chill, say their opinion, have their say, and then we move on from it. And we're all better people for it, I'm sure. Let's see. Excuse me again for burping. Chris saying Jimmy Stewart, the greatest film actor ever, in his opinion, always played Jimmy Stewart. I mean, yeah. You're not wrong. I guess he kind of evolved over time because he was really in films for 30 years, 30, 40 years. And I feel like if you were to compare an early role of his, like when he played Lincoln, or what was the other one? Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, that was also him, I believe. And when you compare that to some of his later roles, I feel like he became more of the Jimmy Stewart stereotype near the end of his career, or at least in the last, say, decade or decade and a half of his career. I think there is some range in his earlier stuff, though. But I just might be being argumentative for the sake of being argumentative in that case. I guess maybe I just like the affectations of Jimmy Stewart over those of Matt Damon, if we're talking about Jimmy Stewart in that context, which I think we are. But yeah, you make a good point. Jimmy Stewart did play Jimmy Stewart quite a bit, which is also something that makes me wonder if I just don't know enough about acting. Regina, if you're still in the chat, maybe you can speak to this a bit as an actor. Like when you think of, or when you look at Jimmy Stewart as an actor or Matt Damon as an actor, do you basically see them as giving fairly similar performances in similar ways from role to role to role, or are there differences enough that you'd be able to point to and say, no, they're actually crafting like unique characters every time that they go to screen? Would love to hear your opinion on that. And we have Abhishek saying, Irishman, 3-hour plus movie. Only old men can sit through that much patience. I don't know. As someone who's turning into an old white man very quickly, I find myself looking up the runtimes for films, and if I see anything longer than like 90 minutes, I'm like, maybe I won't, though. There are some films, obviously, where I will, especially when it comes to the award-nominated films, but I appreciate the hell out of a tight 90-minute film. And I don't know if that has to do with my patience or not, but I feel like very rarely does, if we're talking about a simple Hollywood narrative, I really don't think you need more than 90 to 100 minutes to tell that story in most cases. That is, of course, not true when we start looking at very particular films that just have a very, a slow kind of pace to them that are meant to be more visually expansive or more expansive in a character's way. I'm thinking of Burning as an example of this. It's close to 2.5 hours, I believe, but I would not want it to be any shorter. And in a lot of cases, I want it to actually be longer because I just love how Burning was constructed overall. Really great movie. Going back to the chat, we're at commercial break right now. I think we only have the one major award left. The problem with Dafoe was... Wait, Chris saying the problem was Dafoe had Florida Project and Gates of Heaven in the previous years. That's true, but I don't think we should be not nominating Dafoe because because he had great performances the last couple of years. If anything, I would want that to be a momentum builder for him, saying that he like kind of like for Roger Deakins, where he didn't win for a while and then he did finally win for Blade Runner 2049. If you're being awarded over and over and over and over again, then get awarded again and win when you actually knock it out of the park like he did. Okay, we're doing it. Best Ensemble Motion Picture, Bombshell. I don't know why I'm excited about this because it has no say over Oscar season whatsoever, but we got Bombshell, number 1. Charlize Theron looking real happy. The Irishman. We also got The Irishman here. Looks like I'm going to have some things in the chat to go through once these award ceremonies are wrapped up, so please stick around for that. Any questions, anything you want me to speak to or talk about, give my opinion on, get them in the chat right now. I do have to work in the morning, and I know I have a long day ahead of me tomorrow. So yeah, let me know. See, we got Jojo Rabbit as well, nominated for Best Ensemble. I also will be speaking about some of the stuff that's going to be coming out on the channel this week, so if you want to know more about that, make sure to stick around. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, also nominated in this category. Oh, we have a new... I'm going to break into the chat quickly because there's a newcomer. What is that name? Red Comic 619. If that is a reference to Rey Mysterio Jr., welcome. Just telling us that Brad Pitt sucks. Thank you. Next, we got Parasite in this category. Best Ensemble Motion Picture. Parasite's good. I need to go back and rewatch Parasite. It's been in theaters for so long, I just haven't had a chance. Well, no, I've had several chances. There's just been other stuff to see. Okay. And the award goes to... Parasite. My goodness. That is incredible. Yo, go crazy in the chat, people who wanted this to happen. That's amazing. Good for them. Oh, the Bong Hive is going to be going into high gear. For anyone who doesn't follow Karen Han on Twitter, one of the critics for Polygon, if you love Parasite, you should be following her because she is like an unapologetic Bong Joon-ho fangirl, always tweeting about him. And she's also a really good reviewer. I recommend following her on Twitter. She's great. She's going to be going nuts right now. I guarantee it. All right. Good for Parasite. I'm going to go back to the chat, get into some of the things that were being said. Let's see. I got to scroll up. I haven't had to scroll up to look at the chat, I don't think, ever in a live stream. So there's a lot of you, more people than I'm used to, commenting on stuff. Thank you very much for coming and joining me and doing this. This is amazing. There's so much here to go through. So before Parasite won for Best Ensemble, good for them. We're talking about Willem Dafoe and how he didn't. Chris basically saying that he didn't get nominated this year because he had a couple of very good performances the last couple of years, but didn't win. I think that's kind of what Chris was trying to say. Let me know if I'm messing that up. And then Abhishek saying Florida Project was a good movie, and if Oscar talks about acting and good movie, then Lighthouse should have been nominated more everywhere. I agree. I'm really happy that it did get nominated for Best Cinematography, but I think it could have gotten nominated for a lot of other things, especially production design. The things that they did for that movie to make that movie were incredible, like building that lighthouse, I believe, and building the light for that lighthouse. There was a lot of really cool stuff that went into that. Yeah.
I'm so honored to receive this award.
All right, moving down to Dory, giving us 4 Judy Garland movies that they saw recently. Wizard of Oz, classic, no doubt. Meet Me in St. Louis, good one. Summer Stock, have I seen that one? I don't know if I've seen Summer Stock or not. And A Star Is Born from 1954, which is the first remake of Star Is Born. Meet Me in St. Louis became Dory's favorite Xmas film of all time. Not my favorite one, but definitely a good one. That's dope. Oh, and for anyone who cares, the Screen Actors Guild Awards is now over. I will be turning this volume down. Way down. Or not way down. Come on, go down. So yeah, that's it. So I'm going to go through the chat. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the implications of what just happened during the Screen Actors Guild Awards. And then yeah, we'll wrap it up with just talking about what's coming to the channel soon. Regina's saying that Bourne was awesome for Damon, much different than the other repetitive Damon roles. So we've been talking a little bit about Matt Damon in that he is very much always just Matt Damon. And we were kind of trying to think of like other roles where he wasn't just Matt Damon. The Bourne ones are an interesting pick in that. More so, I think, because they were, especially The Bourne Identity was his comeback. It's where he really became the Matt Damon that we know and love today. Love, maybe you don't. But yeah, his career was really fizzling out before the first Bourne movie. Yeah, I think it's just a variation on Matt Damon, the Bourne ones. Like it's the version of Matt Damon who punches people a lot, and we see that version of Matt Damon here and there, kind of all over the place. All right. Yeah, I don't have much to say about Matt Damon anymore. Let's see. We had Dory. Yeah, Dory voting for Parasite. We also had Regina voting for Parasite, and you guys were right. Your votes counted. And Regina, you actually voted for Parasite in reality. That's really cool. Let's see. Chris saying Stewart was a superb semi-comic actor in Philadelphia Story and Wonderful Life, then actually became even stronger later, i.e. in Rear Window, Vertigo, Anatomy of a Murder, and the Anthony Mann Westerns. I will argue with none of that. I was actually really hoping to do a classic review of Vertigo on this channel because they were playing a 70mm print of it at TIFF. And I'd missed it because I thought they were playing it for a full week, and I guess they only did it on one day. And I'm pissed about that because I really wanted to see Vertigo in 70mm. I've never seen it in a theater projected, so I thought that was going to be really cool. But yeah, I have nothing to argue with that. Stewart is real good. Regina saying, I notice actors' similar mannerisms across their performances. Julia Roberts' laugh, as an example. They shove that Pretty Woman goth in every single film. Yeah, fair. Let's see. Abhishek saying that Parasite should win Best Ensemble, and it did. But also saying, but the winner will be Once Upon a Time, which it wasn't. And then we got some reactions in here for Parasite. Chris saying, wowza. Yeah, I agree. I think we all kind of had that reaction. And then Regina saying, they sent us DVDs. I've watched Parasite 42 times. Damn. That's awesome. That's real good. I wish I had free DVDs. Uzga saying, great, dad movies don't get anything. Exactly. Dad movies shouldn't win anything because we are past. We are in a post-dad movie world right now. Now let's see. I love this how it's actually asking me to like approve Abhishek's post there with all of the explodey things and the happy faces and the whatnot. And of course I approve of that. That is just pure celebration. That is pure joy coming from the chat out into the world. So yeah. I'm happy for the people who wanted Parasite to win that award that we all got that. Because the acting in that film was really good, and it's kind of sad that it didn't get nominated for anything in the broader acting categories at the Oscars. But you know, what are we gonna do? I was asking if Regina actually did see Parasite 42 times for real. Regina saying, "Yeah, for real," and I believe it. I do believe it. Hello to everyone who is watching right now. The SAG Awards are now over. So now I'm just kind of going to wrap up what happened in the categories that matter for what this channel is all about, which is talking about movies. Right now we are in awards season, and so it makes sense that we would talk about the winners of the SAG Awards and to see who's going to be able to build momentum off of this in order to see who is going to win the Academy Awards on February 8th. So I'm just going to quickly pull up the list of winners from, well, let's say Variety. Variety's usually pretty good about this. Winners list. Okay. So as we just mentioned, and I'm not able to monitor the chat right now, so if you have any questions or you're going to respond to anything, I'll get to them once I kind of go through this. But yeah, for Best Outstanding Performance in a Motion Picture for the Ensemble, we had Parasite winning. That does not have any direct implications on the Oscar race, partially because we already knew that Parasite was going to win Best International Feature. There is a chance that a win like this does increase its chances for winning Best Picture overall, although I think we can all safely agree that that would be a huge upset. That's actually the case. I wouldn't be mad if that happened, surely. But yeah, Best Ensemble, not really an indicator of anything, but it does help build. It does help Parasite build its story, its campaign story going into the final push for votes for the Oscars. For Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Leading Role, we had Renee Zellweger winning for Judy. With the Golden Globe win and now this, I can only say that Renee Zellweger is a shoo-in for the Academy Award. I can't see any other performance really coming up at her. I have mentioned in the past that I think Saoirse Ronan might have an outside chance because she, it seems, has been building momentum and she might be on the upswing. But for her to maintain that and to get a positive push to actually put her over the top, I feel like she would have had to at least been nominated for the SAG Award, and she just wasn't. Little Women was really shut out of the SAG Awards. So I think in the long run that hurts Saoirse Ronan's chances going into the Oscars. And yeah, with the SAG Award, with the Golden Globe, Renee Zellweger for the Academy for Best Female Performance. Yeah, that's a lock. I have to think that's a lock. And then Outstanding Male Performance in a Leading Role, that went to Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. I've been saying in the past that I think Adam Driver might have a shot at this award, and I thought it might go 50-50. largely because Marriage Story is the only Netflix film in this category. And so I imagine Netflix is just going to be putting all of the money behind Adam Driver that they could. And Joaquin Phoenix winning the SAG award for this tells me that even if that is what Netflix is doing, it's not working. So Joaquin Phoenix, for his performance in Joker, also pretty solid 95, 100% lock for the Academy Awards. And then we have a couple of things that we don't care about because they have to do with TV. And I don't mean to slight people who are really into TV, but the name of this channel, Cinemateq. Do we care about films here? So then moving on to outstanding performance by a male actor in a supporting role, we have Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood winning. That was a 100% luck going into these awards. The fact that he won doesn't change that. We don't move up to 105%. He's just a lock. Probably the strongest lock out of all of them, except for our next one, who doesn't have to go up against Jennifer Lopez anymore, thanks to the Academy Awards being a little shitty. We have Laura Dern winning for outstanding performance by a female actor in a supporting role. I always thought that this was going to be a lock. I was wondering if Jennifer Lopez was going to win this based on a kind of protest vote against the Oscars and the BAFTAs being kind of racist by excluding women of color. That did not happen. I also felt that Jennifer Lopez gave a very good performance and should have been nominated for the Academy Award and wasn't. But I still believe that Laura Dern gave the best performance out of at least the pool of actresses that were given here. So I'm not at all surprised with her win here. And I think that's all of them. Yeah, those are the ones that concern us when it comes to the SAG Awards. So really just a solidification of what we kind of assumed was going to happen. And I think we can all make pretty good picks as to who is going to win. Whether or not we see an Olivia Colman-like upset, like we saw with The Favorite, I don't know. It doesn't really seem like there's a chance at that. But you never know. But I'd say pretty much everyone we just talked about is a 95 to 100% lock, in my mind. And we didn't get a chance to finish this. I was kind of talking about the Producer Guild Awards during some of the commercial breaks of the SAG Awards and who actually won. And there was one category that we didn't get to, which was Best Picture. And the Producers Guild Awards have been fairly good predictors of the Best Picture. And the winner of the Producers Guild Award for this year was 1917. And based on the reception that 1917 got in light of its wins for both Sam Mendes and the film itself at the Golden Globes, and being nominated for a bunch of Academy Awards, I believe it's up for 10, second only to Joker. And a win here really tells me that in a field that is somewhat divisive, I think 1917 does have the best shot at the Best Picture at the Academy Awards at this point. Also, that naturally means that Sam Mendes is the frontrunner for Best Director. That is how, if someone were to put a voting sheet in front of me right now, that's what I would put down. We also have the Directors Guild Awards, though, to look to for a better idea as to who has the best shot. If Sam Mendes wins that as well, then I would have to consider that a 100% lock as well. But yeah, I feel like 1917 is going to appeal to the largest block of voters out of any of the other films. As an example, like, because it is a war film, it does technically fall into that sort of category of dad films that I talk about. So it is going to appeal quite a bit to the older white male voting population of the Academy, that is a very big and solid block. But also due to the inclusion of people like Roger Deakins and the technical aspects that went into creating the film and making it look like one long take, that's also going to draw in a lot of the cinematographer block. It is nominated for no acting awards from what I can tell, but I don't think that's going to hurt it necessarily. And yeah, to me, it's also going to appeal to people like me a little bit. Like, I can actually see it pulling votes away from something like Marriage Story or Little Women, because of its technical prowess. And those more progressive type voters like myself, not to say that I can vote for the Academy Awards, but those who are like me and would want to see more progressive films getting recognition, I could see them being slightly enamored with 1917 and its construction. And based on that, it might pull votes away from a film like Little Women and Marriage Story. And then you're just going to have a block of people who say Parasite or Death. But I don't think it's going to be a good night as far as best picture goes for that. I do think 1917 with the Producer Guild Award is the best pick at this point. There really isn't anything else that can knock it off unless the DGA, the Directors Guild Awards, go way in a different direction. But then I think we're talking about a coin flip, and in that case, I would still pick 1917 to win. So I'm going to hop back to the stream. My goodness, we have 9 people watching, and the SAG Awards are over. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around and for listening to me ramble a little bit. I'm going to just take a quick look at the chat and answer some of this stuff. I think Osgo is still a little amazed that Regina watched Parasite 42 times. I'm actually really impressed by that as well. Like, that is quite the number for a film that hasn't been out much. Some of my favorite films, I don't even think I've seen that many times. Blade Runner, as I said, I know I have not seen that 40 times, but my goodness. And so Regina's saying, yeah, she's done that since October, and that Osge was just mesmerized by that number. And Chris F. Chris doing the math for us. That means that Regina has watched Parasite every day for the last 6 weeks. Every day for 6 weeks equals 42. So 42 days straight, you could have been watching Parasite. That is quite the number when you put it in that kind of perspective. And I think it kind of speaks to the power that Bong Joon-ho and Parasite in general can just have on people. It's pretty outstanding. Let's see. Abhishek saying you should watch 60 shot on Parasite movie montage. No. Oh, is that another YouTube channel talking about the use of montage in Parasite? Because I think I saw that video pop up for me, but I haven't watched it yet. Let me know if that's the one you're talking about. And Abhishek also saying Roma won both categories, and I'll be happy if Parasite upset the category and win Best Picture. Yeah, Roma did win Best Director and Best International Film, or Best Foreign Language Film, as it was called. It's been updated. Being happy if Parasite would upset the category and win Best Picture. I think that would be pretty fun to see. I think it would really mark a line in the sand as far as the Oscars progressing into a somewhat different award show that is not so concerned with the quote-unquote dad films, as I call them. I wouldn't be mad about that. It's kind of strange. When it comes to the Best Picture category, outside of Little Women, I really don't have a personal horse in the race, and I've kind of accepted that Little Women probably doesn't have any real good chance of winning the award. So I'm kind of just I'm more interested to see who wins. I don't really want Joker to win because I don't really think it deserves to be there. As I've said before, it really only, in my mind, deserves an acting nomination and the Best Original Score nomination. But that's just me. Keep going through this. Looks like Chris is checking odds for us, saying that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is losing pushes. Jojo Rabbit from 40 to 1 to 21 odds, in his opinion. Interesting. What makes you change your odds like that? Because that's a significant increase. And also saying that 1917 is a lock. I agree. Chris saying even thousands of SAG stunt people did not put Once Upon a Time in Hollywood over the top, and they didn't vote for Oscars. Actually, speaking of that, did the stunt award get handed out during the ceremony that we just watched? Because I don't recall talking about it, but I know that it was one as well. Do the SAG Awards do that, where they have a separate ceremony for non-televised awards? Because that would be a huge slight. That'd be strange. But I don't remember talking about an actual winner for that. And like I know that I think actually no. Let's just move on. Let's just move on. Abhishek saying, but Parasite is better than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You could definitely make that argument. I think I prefer Parasite to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but it's difficult to say which one is better. I think. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I feel like I'm sort of more taking on a bit of a referee role now instead of being like very definitive with my opinions. If it came down to which one I would watch again, God, I mean, that probably just depends on my mood as well. Because if I wanted to like just chill out, I would probably chill out with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But if I wanted to like watch a really good thriller, like in the same way that I go back and revisit David Fincher films quite often, like Gone Girl and Zodiac and whatnot, like Parasite really would fall into that category for me too. So even from like a rewatchability standpoint, I feel like both can do it for me. So yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know if I want to get in the middle of that discussion. Chris saying, not disrespecting stunt people, just that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is about their profession. True. You would expect it to do well. But also if perhaps the way that stunt performers were portrayed in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, if it's not faithful, and I'm not saying it is one way or the other, but perhaps if it's not, stunt performers would be less willing to vote for it as they don't want to, say, push forward inaccurate stereotypes about their profession. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Abhishek saying, but that doesn't qualify it to win Best Movie. I think talking about your comment about Parasite being better than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah. And then Regina, looks like Regina's dropping a lot of stuff in here. I'll just go through this quickly. Definitely see you at the Oscars. Amazing. Thank you so much. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel so you get notifications on when those live streams are going to be. I don't know if I'm going to do like a pre-show for the Oscars or not, or if maybe I'll do like a watching the red carpet and critiquing dresses and suits and stuff like that. It's not really my style, but also I feel like I'm going to be drinking champagne on February 8th to watch the Oscars, so maybe that will make a lot of sense. And then Regina also saying, check out my channel too. Anyone who's still watching, please go check out Regina's channel. I don't know it. Regina, this is the first time I've seen her on this channel, but she's been great. She's been in the chat quite a bit, and I really appreciate all your contributions, especially as an actor and as a Screen Actors Guild member. It was really awesome having you in the channel, having you in the chat, lending us your expertise. So thank you so much for stopping by. And I look forward to seeing you as well for the Oscars live stream. And Regina also just letting us know that the Stunt Award was awarded pre-show, and that's some bullshit. They could easily have just shortened up. You know what you do? You don't do a little thing talking about how great streaming services are. You cut that out because it doesn't matter, and then you actually award stunt performers and treat them with respect. How about that, Screen Actors Guild? And Abhishek saying, yes, that's the one on YouTube. Okay, cool. Talking about a video further up in the chat about montage and editing in Parasite, which is supposed to be very good, according to Abhishek. So thank you for clarifying that. I will check that out. I'm a big fan of editing, but only as it pertains to Soviet montage. Like I said, I'm pretentious. Ozge putting her support behind critiques on dresses when it comes to the Academy Awards. If anyone else in the chat wants it, maybe it'll happen. I don't know. I feel like if I get some champagne in me or some sparkling wine, I'm going to want to do that anyways. Excuse me, everyone. Chris saying, just that Hollywood and 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and 1917 are the most likely Best Picture winners. So if Hollywood gets pushed down, it advances the beloved wildcards like Parasite, Jojo Rabbit, etc. True. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Abhishek saying, if Green Book can win, then Parasite has huge chance to win. I like the sentimentality in that, but I think you need to look at what kind of film Green Book is versus what kind of film Parasite is. Green Book absolutely qualifies as that kind of dad film, especially because it allows for the older white voting bloc to just say to themselves, look, we solved racism. Racism was solved. Everything's great. And I think the backlash against that award that we saw after it was handed out is testament to that. I don't think that Parasite qualifies. I don't think that Parasite really works with that in that regard, although it could. Like, obviously it's dealing with like things that you might see in like a quote unquote dad film. It's a thriller. There's murder. There's all kinds of crazy stuff going on in a basement. But it seems like it has like a completely different block of people behind it and supporting it. So I can't, for the life of me, put that kind of, I can't make that same comparison. It's an interesting one, but it's, not I don't think it's going to be the same thing for that. We have more people joining us here. I can't believe it. These numbers keep going up even though the show is over. Thank you so much for everyone for joining us. We've already sort of gone through, we've reacted to the entire show. We've done a quick reaction to who we think is going to win. Basically, and if you want to just do like a quick lookup as to who won the SAG Awards, all of the actors who won the films, they're basically all 100%, 95 to 100% locks for winning the Academy Awards. So if you're just looking for a little bit of guidance for your Oscar pool, there you go. And speaking of the Oscars, I will be live streaming those, reaction to that. So please subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, because if you do, you will know when I go live. And it looks like, thanks to Abhishek and Azge, both asking for me to do critiquing on fashion during the Oscars pre-show. Yeah, I guess that's happening. I guess I will look at dresses and male tuxedos and maybe female tuxedos and decide whether or not they are good. And I will give my very honest opinions on them as someone who is not involved in fashion. Look at this shirt. Look at how loose this shirt is. I am not a fashion person, but I will give you my opinions because you want me to. I'm here for you guys. Regina's saying that she's going to the after parties. Talk to you later. Yeah, lucky you. That's what Abhishek is saying right there. No doubt. If you've got any gossip from the after parties, throw it my way. I'm just kidding. I don't deal with gossip on this channel. But have fun. Enjoy your evening. And thank you so much again for coming and for hanging out with us in the chat. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Abhishek is saying, you're welcome to Azge for forcing me to talk about fashion. You guys are forming your own little cabal. It's all right. It's all right. I don't mind. Azge telling me that I need to study up on my silhouettes. I will not be doing that. I will be critiquing fashion from a completely new and different standpoint as someone who has no idea what it is. Basically, I will probably rank on a level from not goth at all to the most goth, and I will give out an award to who is the most goth. As you can tell from my red checkered shirt and my blue jean shorts, I'm totally goth, and that's really what I want to see is just super goth stuff over here. Abhishek saying that I need to run through fashion magazines. Yeah, probably not. I'm going to be doing other things, like actually watching all the movies that have Oscar nominations for them. I'm not going to be able to run through Vogue, you know? Maybe I should, though. I think maybe I'll try to find like some keywords, some buzzwords that I can go with, and that'll be things I just keep saying over and over again, like, oh, that dress is so chic. I'm going to talk about the chicness of dresses quite a bit when it comes to the Oscars. Okay, so we are basically at the end here. I really want to watch The Outsider before I go to bed, the new episode of that, so I'm going to do that. I once again want to thank everybody for stopping by. Coming up this week on the channel, there's going to be quite a few videos being released. For those of you who are new and who are just joining us here, you might not have known this, but I did not release a video on Friday as I normally do. I was going to have a review of I Lost My Body up on the channel on Friday, but the footage that I was working with became corrupted due to my own stupidity during the editing process, and so I didn't have any footage to work with, and thus no video. But I still have my notes for it. And what I intend on doing is re-recording and releasing that video later this week, probably on Wednesday. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to be releasing a review/discussion video for Les Miserables, the new one that is nominated for Best Foreign Language Film, Best International Film at the Oscars. And I think that's also something that I just want to address quickly, is that when I'm going to be moving to talking about films, and I talked about this earlier in the stream, but for anyone who is kind of new here and who just doesn't know anything about this channel, because of the size of this channel, I can't really get into review screenings, and so I can't put up review videos like 3 days before a film comes out like Chris Stuckman can, as an example. And so I think I would personally be better served as having film discussion videos that are going to be littered with spoilers. So if you haven't seen the film, you won't be able to watch these videos, which, granted, is shooting myself in the foot a little bit. But I think I'd be better served by just talking about the films and the issues that they raise and what I think is interesting about them, as opposed to trying to give a proper review of them. And that is, I'm more interested in actual discussions about movies. And so Les Miserables, I'm going to be talking about different things about the film and its construction and how it kind of works insofar as French cinema right now. If I can watch Portrait of a Lady on Fire before writing my notes on it, I might include something on that, as I think the 1-2 punch of those two films, like one getting into the Oscars and the other not getting into the Oscars, is something that's probably interesting to discuss. I might not actually get there in time. And then in the case of I Lost My Body, there's once again like interesting things to discuss that you can talk about without having to put a rating on anything, or without saying if it's good or not, or bad or not, or whatever. And I think that's just the overall direction I would prefer to take. So Tuesday, Les Miserables review / discussion, mostly discussion. Wednesday, I Lost My Body discussion. That video will be going live. Friday, always release a video on Friday, and that is going to be a discussion of Uncut Gems. So if you want to hear me talk about Uncut Gems, please subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. And then I will be live streaming once again on Sunday, 1 week from today. I don't believe there is any awards show to stream, so that will just be a typical run through of the week's film news, talking about everything that I think is interesting, going a bit in depth on a couple of stories, and then obviously asking you guys to get in the chat and let me know what you want to talk about, and then we can all just discuss what's going on in the film world together. Yeah, that's about where we're going to be going for the next week or so. So I'm just going to do a quick one quick little thing for the chat, and then I'm out of here, and I'm going to be watching The Outsider and probably getting a little bit scared. Osga saying, yes, the fashion cabal, hashtag fashion cabal is a thing. 2 members as it stands. Osga saying that neon colors are going to be big, I think, for the Oscars. That's interesting because it is like a black tie affair. So I think everyone's supposed to wear black, right? For the most part. I know obviously people do other things. I think Armie Hammer wore like a red suede or red velvet suit a couple of years ago when Call Me By Your Name was in. It'd be interesting to see if there was a lot of neon colors, actually. Abhishek saying that Green Book talks about race, Parasite talks about the class pyramid in Asia. True. I just think that in that particular, when we're looking at that particular dichotomy, Green Book really took the angle of like, see, look, it's all good. Everything's fine. Whereas Parasite was like, no, everything's still fucked. And Parasite gave a much more honest critique, I think, of the issue. Whereas Green Book, in my mind, tried to glaze over, like it tried to address racism, but as something that doesn't really exist anymore. It was more of like a time capsule film. Like it was presenting racism as something that happened back then, but then certain people decided that it was no longer cool and that there were progressive views and that it didn't really exist beyond the boundaries of the film itself. Whereas Parasite is very much like, no, this is the world we live in. These are the people in the world who think this way. This is how they think. This is how they approach life. And it's prevalent and it's everywhere. So I think that's kind of the difference between the two, even though they're both addressing social issues. And Abhishek saying, I think red and pink will dominate the carpet. Will red dominate the carpet, though? Because they are walking on a red carpet, and I wonder if maybe their fashion stylist would say, like, you need to stand out from the carpet itself. So pink I could see. Red, I'm curious about, though. Would that actually be a color that we would see a lot of? I don't know. Abhishek also saying that they're following the channel now. Thank you so much. I appreciate the hell out of that. You've been great as well. We've had a lot of great people in the chat today. Abhishek, you've been one of them. Thank you again for all your comments and for participating as much as you have. It's been great having you in the chat. Thank you so much. And I'm glad that I can now count you as a subscriber to this channel. I appreciate it, truly. And last one, Abhishek saying, start reaction to movie trailers and you'll have thousands of followers. Every YouTuber is doing that nowadays. Yeah, I know that. And it's one of the reasons why I actually don't do things like that. I'm trying to work in the movie space on YouTube, but I also just can't be doing exactly what everyone else is doing because then I'll just get lost. However, as the channel progresses and as I start seeing what people want and what kind of videos people want, doing a trailer reaction is something that I might test in the future. And if it does well, then yeah, I might move the channel more in that direction. But the overall purpose of the channel for me is something that breeds discussion. And I also want that discussion to somewhat exist outside of the Hollywood hype machine and how we, watch a trailer, dissect the trailer, talk about all the things that could happen in the trailer, and then the movie comes out and people get pissed because the things that they thought were going to happen because of the trailer don't happen, and then there's like this toxic turn inside of the fandom and everyone goes crazy and there's just wildness out there. Like, that to me is not positive, and it doesn't add anything of value to film discourse. And a lot of the stuff that I want to do on the channel, on this channel, I want to have a positive influence on film discourse as a whole. I want us to have better discussions about film. Hey, look at that. Rocco knew that there were some people coming in here who had never been here before, and he wanted to impress you all. This is my cat. He is Rocco. He has finally decided that this giant pile of blankets that I amassed for him is the most comfortable place to be in the entire apartment. And here he is. Look at that, Rocco. You got a fan. You got Usgay in the chat saying, Rocco, that's your name. Oh, hello. Are you trying to snuggle my face a little bit? So yeah, this just went off the rails real fast. All it takes is a cat showing up. That's what it is for me. What's up, my friend? How you doing? Yeah? You're not going to bite me or anything? That's nice. Rocco, don't show your butt to the stream. They don't want to see that. Turn your butt away. Or like sit down or something. I'm sorry. I'll just cover that up. No one wants to see that butt. All right. There we go. That's better. And then Abhishek saying, but more followers allows you to show the videos along with your channels and no copyright issues if you have thousands of followers. True. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. One of the things about YouTube, though, is that the people who come in will invariably want, like when you subscribe to a channel because of a particular piece of content, you're doing it because you want to see more of that particular piece of content. And I know I'm putting the horse before, or the wagon before the horse in this instance, but I don't want this channel to be a trailer reaction channel. I want it to be a discussion channel, and so I kind of have to think about it in those terms. But you're right. Like, I do need to try things on the channel because I do want to have a positive effect. I can only really do that if there are tons of people watching, or if there are at least more people watching. But at the same time, I also feel like if I can do this and have good discussions with like 10 people, which I've been able to do tonight, then maybe that's good enough for me, and then we can have, and then, you guys can have better discussions with people as a result of the discussions we have here. Like, that also to me is a very positive thing. So, I mean, yeah, overall, you're right. I should try a trailer reaction. I'm worried that kind of stuff would get buried, but it does put me on at least a level playing field where I would be able to get content out as quickly as other creators do. As I was saying before, I kind of don't want to do reviews because I'm always going to be later until I build up a larger audience on this platform, which is why I'm going to be doing more discussion videos. All that said, got a lot of people watching, only 2 people in the chat. We got Azga and Abhishek in there. If you're watching right now and you haven't said anything in the chat, please let me know that you're watching. Please let me know where you are, what you thought about the SAG Awards. I am going to be logging off pretty soon, but if you're new here, if you want a little spiel as to what this channel is and what I'm trying to do with it, then I'd be happy to, and I'd be happy to give that to you. But for now, I'm just going to pet my kitty. I'm going to read some of these last little comments in the chat. So we had Ozga, as I was saying, Rocco. Rocco's my cat. He's a good boy most of the time. And then Ozga as well saying, he's talking to you. Well, he's certainly purring very loud, which is one of his main forms of communication. Although the purring doesn't mean anything. He could just turn around and swat me in the face right now, and he would still be purring, which means that he either loves attacking me or he's just a very emotionally confused cat. And then Abhishek saying, Rocco is like Oscar showing up in last. Sorry, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. And then Oscar saying, yeah, no, I think everyone got that. Wait, is this covering something up? Yeah, no, I think everyone got that you do reviews with your cat. Oh, I mean, I could do reviews with my cat. Reviews with Rocco. Is that something people want? Reviews with this dude? I could always just do like quick cuts over to his face being like, Rocco, what'd you think about that? And then you could just see his very unimpressed face. And I would be, that would be our Siskel and Ebert dynamic. All right. So as it pains me to turn this off as we have like 10 steady people in this live stream, which is wild to me because I haven't even said anything about the SAG Awards in a long time. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. But yeah, this live stream's been going on almost 3 hours. Talking for almost 3 hours straight. Did it again. So yeah, going to be live streaming the Oscars. Going to have some review/discussion videos coming out this week. I Lost My Body is going to be one of them. Uncut Gems coming out on Friday. On Tuesday, Les Miserables. Please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell. Check out some of my older videos so you can see what this channel is all about. And that's about it. That's all I got. Thank you once again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I will see you on Tuesday. And then Wednesday. And then Friday. And then Sunday. Have a good week, everyone.